also saw Anish as a DJ, so that was
Anish
a
is a
duo.
DJ?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Is he a good DJ, Anish?
I heard it, he is.
Yeah, okay. Does he, what does he play? I bet he plays a bit of 50%. That was a bad joke. Sorry, 50 cent, I meant 50 cent. Sorry, 50%, 50%, draw, 50%. Welcome to the Pro Chess League, the one and only Pro Chess League, the amazing thing that Chess.com are putting on. And it's a real honour to be commentating here on the Pro Chess League. And I'm in the studio live with the lovely Anna.
No pictures.
This
is real.
I know, we're here. Look, we can even go high five.
Wow.
High five. We're actually sitting in the studio together. Now, it's going to be a great day of chess, isn't it, Anna, today?
It's going to be a great day, and it's great to be here in your studio. So I'm visiting Simon today. Just flew here from Oslo. Yesterday I was sitting next to Mr. Yasser Seiravan, and today Simon Williams. I'm just going from one legend to the other.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. I don't know, I can't really compare myself in the same league as Yasser, but you're a bit of a jet setter now, Anna. I mean, you've been travelling around everywhere. So you've been to Norway, been hanging out with Magnus Carlsen last night and people, and
everyone was there except for Hikaru because he lost the match, so I think he wasn't in the mood. But there was a really nice reception after the closing ceremony, the organizers, the crew. And today what we will see is not Magnus nor Hikaru, but the top Indian players in the Eastern Division competing.
We do. We have some great players lined up today. I mean, it's a real feast of chess that we're going to dive into. And well, the games have actually started, so we'll go over to the games very shortly. But let's have a look first of all at the team pairings and the board pairings. So let's go over to the team pairings today. We're just going to move to our other studio there.
I love our studios.
And okay, so we have the match which has already started, is the Riga Magicians versus Delhi Dynamite, and we'll have a look at the individual board pairings in a second. And you can see some real interesting and tough games going on. So let's have a look at the board pairings now. And the match that has already started is the match between the Riga Magicians and the Delhi Dynamite. So Anna, what do you think about match one there?
It's tough. It's really tough. The Magicians, of course, need a match victory in order to get closer to the spots that are at the top of the standings. There are still 4 rounds left, but it's not too many, actually.
It's not too many.
So we have passed the halfway mark. This is week 6.
Yeah.
And there are teams that badly need a team victory. And apart from the team victory, what also matters are the game points in case of a tiebreak.
Yes, that's right. I mean, if we have a look at the team standings, we can sort of see who needs to get the points.
Let's have a look at the standings for a moment, so that we can show the green teams are the ones qualifying for the moment. But for instance, the gnomes are tied with the magicians and the horses, so there the game points will matter.
This is massive, isn't it? I mean, if we look at those 3 teams, we have the Norway gnomes who lost last week. They started with 0 out of 4 in round 1, which was a really horrible start.
And then they did a 4-0 in round 3.
They did. They came back fighting, so they tried their best. Yeah. But they are not clear, and they were one of the teams who excelled last year. And of course, they have Magnus Carlsen in the team as well. So we'd like to see them do well. And you've got these other 2 teams, Riga Magician, Estonia, Horses. There are 2 Indian teams doing very well there at the moment.
Very well. And today there's a debut for Mr. Pentala Harikrishna for the Delhi Dynamite. So last week we saw Viswanathan Anand. It was his first time in the Pro Chess League and on Chess.com as well.
It was, yeah, indeed. And he started with a couple of draws, didn't he, Anand, last time?
3 draws, and then he beat his strongest opponent
in the last
Benjamin Gladura.
When it really mattered in a really nice game. But we're going to watch him play again. So just going back to the board pairings here, you can see that Anand is down to play. I think he's coming in. There he is. So he's going to be starting in about 1 minute. So we're waiting for that match to start. The Volga Stormbringers and the Mumbai Movers, because we want to watch Anand, don't we?
Of course.
Get rid of all these other patsers. We don't want to watch any of these other GM
Well,
patsers.
we will try to watch every other match a little bit, but I think we will focus on the movers. They are the leaders in our division. And as you have mentioned, Vishy is playing and Vidit is playing today as well. So they have a very interesting strategy. Two top Indian players and two 2200 players, because you need to have the rating average right, 2500 max.
That's right. Yeah. So they have gone for the top hitters there, Vidit and Anand, bringing the points, but they're two lower rated players. I mean, this I'm not aware of. He's only 2255. If you can see the Mumbai Movers. Well, let me tell you, Anna. Let me tell you about ratings going up and down. I can tell you. I can tell you ratings can just go. They can skyrocket. They can skyrocket. It does happen occasionally, but we are going to have a look, obviously, at Anand's game. I think we've got to today as soon as it starts, and it'll be starting any minute now. So we're going to have a kick-off with that one. But yeah, you've been so busy, Anna. I can't believe, and you probably haven't even slept. How do you look so fresh the whole time?
Not much, I've slept for sure, but I try my best. And whenever there's an event like this, the match between Magnus and Hikaru, so that was a Fischer and unofficial World Championship match. The energy there in the playing hall and the whole venue is just so amazing that even though you are tired and you've been doing this for already the 5th day and many hours of commentary, in the end you don't feel tired, and I'm not feeling tired either now because I'm sitting next to you, and this is a wonderful event to cover.
You'll be feeling very tired and maybe a little bit suicidal by the end of this, but I'm sorry about that, Anna. I'll try to make it pleasurable if I can. But it's going to be. We've got some great matches. And like I say, we're just waiting for the rapid world champion Anand to start his game before we look at it. We can see we've got a game in the background here already, and also we'd like to say hello to everyone who is in the Twitch chat. So welcome to you all in twitch.tv chess, and we'll be keeping an eye on the chat there as much as we can, I guess. So seeing how people are saying, and everyone's saying how busy you are, Anna. You're just you're just rock and roll chess world.
Simon, I was missing Simon for 2 weeks here in the Pro Chess League because he was commentating on Gibraltar. So
we're busy, but it's great. I mean, what a great life commentating on the top games going on. So do we have? Okay, we got Vidit. Let's just see. Let me just turn off these things. And Vidit is one of the big hitters, and I'm just going to see if we have. Anand has started yet. I don't think he has he? But we'll keep an eye. And of course, Vidit, if you're not sure what Vidit looks like, we have a lovely fetching picture of him. Here is Vidit, young player.
Very young and promising player. Just won the Tata Steel Challenger, so next year he's going to play in the Masters in Wycombe, which is amazing. The opportunity for him, of course.
Definitely. And we can see him here with the black pieces. And really, I think the strategy of the Mumbai Movers is, as we can tell, they're two top players to be the big hitters. They're going to try to be the big scorers, and they need to score maybe 3.5 to take the Mumbai Movers through to victory. But maybe looking just at the standings of the league, so if we go to the team standings, you can see that the Mumbai Movers are pretty much safe at the top of the table. So it's more important maybe for the Riga Magicians this match at the moment. So we will have to well, I don't know. I mean, the Riga Magicians probably have to win to qualify. I'd say in this match, it's very important to do so. So
it's an important match for them, but it's not an easy one, as we have mentioned. The movers are the leaders. One of my favorite players is playing now against Vidit. And Nodirbek Abdusattar, the youngest grandmaster in the world.
Ah, okay. We did say we were going to do the template. We didn't have time.
We wanted to do it together, but with the setup, we didn't have time for it. So now we can't win 10K.
Oh well.
And we can't beat Greg. That's the worst.
You can't beat Greg.
You can't outdo Greg without filling out the fantasy chess lineup.
Yes, and well, another thing we should say, if you don't know what we're talking about, of course. The template that we're talking about is you can all fill. I don't know, maybe it's too late to fill in. They can fill it in for next week.
Yeah, for next week you should try. It's on prochessleague.com, and there's always a link when you can participate. When the pairings are out, you can fill out your fantasy chess team. Yeah. So in every division, you pick the player who will score the highest number of points on their respective boards.
That's right, yeah, and that's so. I mean, it's a chance to win 10,000. If you get a perfect thing, $10,000. That's not bad. What would you do if you won $10,000? Any
Build
idea?
a proper studio.
Build a proper studio.
I am in Simon's studio. He's got the green screen. He's got the studio lights. 3 screens I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, we're trying to go a bit professional,
Amazing, very professional.
but I've also noted my hair is a little bit transparent. I'm doing a Donald Trump. I think I'm doing a Donald Trump. A bit of wind comes through and it will fly off in a minute. There goes the wig. So we're gonna have to watch out for that one. Yeah, and I like hello to other people I recognise. Blazer really good supporter of streamers. Hello to Blazer
Hello, Blazer
in the chat. And I have to say I found this comment quite funny. It was, obviously Iman Hamilton, who plays for the Chess Bras, he only shaved his beard off when he got to Grandmaster title, and someone's saying, I'm only going to shave my beard off when I get back to Grandmaster title again. Thanks for that. Just what we want to hear. Cheers, bud. So has Anand started? He must have done. Can we see him in the games yet? Is he there? Well, I can't see him at the moment. So let's have a look at.
Shall we just go to Chess TV? If we open Chess TV.
Yep, sure. Okay, over here. We can have a look. So right. At the moment, I can't see him, but what's happening in Vidit's game when I just get up to the Chess TV? So we'll bring that one up as we come. We'll Vidit with the black pieces, and he's going for some pressure in the centre here, I guess, Anna.
Oh, what a bone chain. I was wondering this double B pawns, trying to guess the exact variation of the opening. So this was a Rui Lopez, and then how did they come up with this pawn structure exactly?
Well, I think at some point Vidit has played this b4 move, as you can see, which is a distracting way to divert the pawn away from c3. And he's now attacked in the centre with d5, trying to get some play in the centre of the board. I quite like this strategy. So
he sacrifices the b pawn in order to gain the initiative in the centre.
Yes, just to get the initiative, and he wants to bring his pieces into life here. And so, I mean, for example, if white takes here, the knight gets a very nice place now with the knight even coming into c3. And the bishop on b7 is a fantastic bishop at the moment. So let's have a look at what happened in the game. Well, d5 was still waiting on white's moves here, so hopefully something come on. It looks like Fianchetta's also in the chat.
Fiona,
so,
hey!
Hello Fiona, and Anton squared me. So hello guys, hello, and great to see some regular names in the chat as we are we're just getting warmed up with the commentary now, aren't we?
Exactly.
And my transparent hair. We're gonna try.
I love your transparent hair.
We're gonna try to fix it in a minute, but I thought I'd just go for the Trump look. Actually, no, I don't. No.
You pulled that pretty well.
In fact, you're saying I pull off the Trump look very well.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, the
careful. This could be the last time we're sitting next to each other. If you saying I look like Donald Trump?
No way.
Okay.
Just a bad joke. No way.
Dear. God, dear, that would be yeah. So okay, well let's have a look. So we have now still no Anand. I can't see if Anand is live. But
shall we try here? If you can go on Chess.com TV. I think we just update Chess.com.
Okay, if I refresh or
yeah.
Okay, let's refresh. I see what you mean.
And so we come here.
Okay. Well, I've got that one open over here. Over on this side.
I meant to take the window from here if we can try.
Okay.
Because what I do normally is I click here.
Okay.
So then it's automatic.
Right. Okay. So we're just making sure we don't miss Anand when he starts playing.
Now I see him. So it wasn't on your list, but now we can find him. It's move by mover C4. That's my trick.
Good stuff. That's a really good trick. I have to remember that one. So we do now have all the games up, and of course the game there has started. It took a while to get going, but let's try to catch up at least with the action in that game. And we have Anand with the black pieces, and this is a game that we really would have thought he'd be favourite on to win, because he's playing the bottom board of the Gorky Stormbringers. And what is happening here? Well, it looks like Anand has quite a nice position with control of the C file a very nice knight anchored in the centre of the board. And okay, he can swap off that bishop at any moment. So far so good for Anand, I'd say here. Looks like a pretty good position. And one thing we should also note is that Anand is so quick, isn't he? He's such a quick player. So
we could understand last week why he was playing that quick. In some of the games, it was already a draw on move like 70, and he spent 2 minutes from his clock.
Exactly. I mean, maybe he doesn't realise the time limit. It's 15 minutes. He thinks maybe he can't see the first one. He just thinks it's a 5-minute game because he's not using as much time as he could do. Let's be clear. Yeah. But he's a very good blitz player. He's a very good rapid and blitz player. And he's showing that. I mean, maybe he doesn't need that extra time until he gets to a critical moment. And, well, after rook d2...
Now he's taking his time. So, as you mentioned, he's keeping his time for the critical moment, and he is calculating here what is the best possibility for black.
There's no little tactics of, no, there's no rook takes d3. I mean, okay, he's just played a nice sensible move, maybe to give his king a square and to stop any potential f4, f5 ideas. And, well, it still looks very nice at him. He can even try to go b5 and get a passed pawn with the b pawn at some point as well. That could be a very strong passed pawn. And what other ideas does he have here? Well, I think just the control on the two open files gives him a very pleasant game.
Indeed, and controlling the f4 square as well. I love the fact that bishop takes g5 for white is never good, because after h takes g5, a knight will land on f4. Horrible for white. Very nice piece and outpost for black.
Interesting move played here. h4 from white, and well, he's given up poor old Harry there, Anna. So Harry might be leaving the board.
I don't know if you were listening to the Fischer Random, if you had time to, but at a couple of occasions, Harry was very important in Fischer Random, and we called you out on that because Harry is your son.
He's my long lost son, pawn son, or whatever. That sounds a little bit odd. Pawn son. What does that mean? Am I on the wrong broadcast here? Okay, let's not go there. He's Harry the H pawn. This guy here is my pawn son. Whatever that means. He's a pawn, and I'm his daddy. I'm his daddy. Who's the daddy? I'm his daddy. So, but here he's been sacrificed. But I guess White's idea is to try to get something. I mean, I don't think this is that scary if he takes there.
It doesn't look scary.
It doesn't look scary, does it? No. So, taking on h6 doesn't look too mad. How did you find commentating on Fischer Random? Was it? I mean,
very interesting. And I was practicing for the event, so I played Fischer Random as a child in many training camps. I realized that it was very good for us that we had different chess variants just to practice. And then when I was called for the event, I started practicing again, of course, online. I created an account just to practice so that people would know it's me. I started loving it so much. And now I think the next streams I'm gonna do on Fischer Random for sure, and a Fischer Random tournament on my channel probably.
Okay, maybe we should have a Fischer Random game at some point. You know, that could be quite cool. So let's do that.
Also, Chess.com will do many more events. Because tomorrow, for instance, is the Arena Kings for streamers on Chess.com, and it's going to be Fischer Random instead of classical chess.
Brilliant. Okay, great. So, I mean, there's loads of stuff every day. There's something quite crazy going on.
And the Fischer Random feeder is out there.
It is, and especially after Magnus and Hikaru had this amazing match recently, where you just jetted in from Oslo to Godalming. So and
direct flight.
Direct flight. That's it. Just parachuted into the office. So, and I think Anna, if you make sure you do follow Anna on Twitter down below.
And Georgia on Twitter and his Twitch channel.
And Twitch channel.
Same the Twitch, or it's without
the underline? It's without the underline. So we both have our own Twitch channels, and of course, I think Anna, you're going to be posting some videos of your sort of trip here as well, which vlogs, which
we recorded a clip just the way coming here to the studio, but somehow it's not being posted. So in worst case, I will post it after the stream.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, and good. So well, we haven't got any more moves after bishop takes h4 by the looks of it, which is a little bit surprising. I mean, you give up Harry,
and then you think,
oh my God, I've lost Harry. I'm going to have to resign now. But I think Anand is well in charge here. well in charge at this moment in time. And while we wait for White to move, I think we'll just show again, because we're just starting off our 3-hour broadcast today. And we're just going to show the ball pairings one more time. So I'm going to let Anna just take us through some of the other players we can look forward to while the matches really heat up. So let me bring that on now.
So we have, as we have mentioned, the Mumbai Movers, the leaders. This is the main match we will focus on. They are facing the Volga Stormbringers. The Stormbringers started the Protest League very badly, losing their first matches. But then, at the Super Saturday, Super Sunday weekend, they were one of the top teams among all teams in the Protest League, all divisions included. Then, last week, they managed to beat the Armenia Eagles, which means that Stormbringers actually have been collecting the points they have now from the last 2 occasions. Tough match there for both the Indian team and the Russian team. The Gnomes, we have mentioned that they are playing this week without Magnus Carlsen. He has just finished the official random match against Hikaru, so he's tired, he needs to have a rest. He won't be streaming today, maybe next week, who knows. But John Ludwighammer is streaming. He's the captain of the Gnomes, and he's streaming while he's playing. On that team, the new player is Niels Grandelius. This is his debut. I remember from last season, Niels, but I believe he was playing for the Stockholm Snowballs.
I think so, yeah, he was. And, you know, well, he's a great player. I mean, he's one of the young players, he's aggressive, he's a very good signing to have.
Yeah.
Just by the way, if we go back to now, very quickly, the games that are going on, we can just see, just to update, after h4, we had Bishop takes h4, and now White didn't even take there. So I think if White had taken there, maybe there was even a g5 move when your idea of throwing the knight into that square could have really embarrassed that bishop.
I was looking at that. I didn't know if rook g1.
Rook g1 was working. And now if we give you a check, the king, is it safe there? It looks a little bit risky with rook d3 coming.
Risky.
Something nasty could happen, but I don't know. It's a bit unclear. But obviously White did not like this, and he just played instead pawn to f4 there. And after pawn to f4, we had bishop d8, and now Anand just seems to be a pawn up at the moment. So this seems to be going nicely towards Anand, the victory there, I think, I would say at the moment. So, okay.
Your hair is not transparent already. How did you do that?
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's still,
it is transparent. I know. We're trying to do it on the fly, but it's look at that.
And my one too?
Yeah. we have the Trump hair going on today. So this is our, this is what happens in our.
No.
But anyway,
no.
You can see we are pale gingers, aren't we?
Yeah.
What can we do? I'm probably more pale than you, actually. I think
Because you live in Spain. We both look like ghosts.
We both look like ghosts. So we're going for the ghost look today. One of those things. But okay, we'll try to adjust things as the show goes on. But all good. And I think he's going to win this one, isn't he? He looks like he's going to get this result. He's now a pawn up. His pieces are so excellently placed. And things are really going his way.
Dan has some ideas for the transparent look. I should put my hand through your transparent head.
From my hands, yeah, that'd be quite. Oh, through my head. Oh dear, that could be a new look for the show, couldn't it? So, but okay, and well, transparent head. What can we do? Okay, there we go. Right, so Anand just played bishop to a5 at this moment in time. Are we? Oh, look at that! It's gone a bit funny again. Oh well. And the rook is now attacked. And where can that rook go? I think that rook is now lost. It looks to me that rook has no squares it can go to, because if you go to either a2 or to d1, let's say the rook goes over here. There's a knight c3 check. So this would have been losing. So White is now trying some desperate move, this f5 move, to try and sort of get some counterplay, but it can't be enough counterplay, can it? I wouldn't have thought at the moment.
It's very desperate, and the whole point of sacrificing Harry for nothing. So I think there, Mr. Ivlev started to become a little bit desperate about his position. Of course, when you play Vichy, world champion of rapid chess, now a former world champion of classical chess, such a legend, you are scared simply by looking at his name.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, what impressed me last week was some of the young Norwegian players. They didn't show any fear when they were playing against against him. And I think when you're playing these guys, you've got to avoid showing fear if you can. I mean, you just got to go for it, haven't you, and try to take them on in whatever you can. So anyway, he's going to win this game. So it's a good start for Vichy in the first game here. So the scores are already Delhi Dynamite have taken a lead in the top match there, and we have half a point each between Volga Stormbringers and the Mumbai Movers. Now the winning score, Anna, is 8.5, isn't it?
It is.
8.5 is a score that people are trying to get to. When you get to 8.5, your team has won the match. 8-all is obviously that's going to be a draw match. So that's what we're aiming for. And well, just going back to Vichy's game, he's now threatening some nasty action on f2. 2 rooks on the 7th, very strong. Now you told me on the way here, and you will have a vlog, of course, coming up on your Instagram, is that right?
I was going to tweet it, so we have recorded a short clip with Simon on the way here talking about the Pro Chess League and our views.
Well, I was driving, so I nearly crashed the car, but yeah, great. So,
anything for a good preview?
Anything for a good preview, that's it. But I remember you did mention there that Nimzovich, Yasser, that is not a big fan of Nimzovich.
He wasn't really a fan of Mr. Nimzovich.
He wasn't a fan. Why? How can you not like? I mean, I've got all respect for Yasser Seirawan, the best commentator out there. Really smooth legend of the game. But how can you not like Nimzovich? He has
played like all the world champions.
He has. He hasn't played Nimzovich. Maybe not, but he doesn't.
But he has read the books. And,
he's read the books, and he hasn't been impressed.
You should talk to Yasser about this because he will explain why Nimzovich is wrong.
Okay, why he's wrong. Okay, one thing I do remember Nimzovich talked about, I'm sure it was him, was the strength of 2 rooks on the 7th rank.
He has some good quotes and easily recognizable phrases. So Vichy has won this game against Alexei Ivlev. First victory for Vichy this week. It's a good start, not a draw.
Yeah, that is good. So a good start. He did draw his first 3 games last week, so of course that is a very good start. And by the way, if you weren't sure what kind of look we're going for, me and Anna, being gingers, we're going for the ghost look today. You know, we're going for a little bit of ghost look, so that's what we're going for. And okay, well, things there. Good start for Anand. So any game you'd particularly like to go to? What should we go to Hammer Time?
Let's go Hammer Time.
Let's have a look, shall we? And see how Hammer Time is getting on. Now, John Ludvig Hammer is playing, of course, for the Norway Gnomes, and this is a game which is very important to them because let's have a look at very quickly the team standings. And the team standings, we can see that the Norway Gnomes are in danger of not qualifying, and they're playing here the Armenian Eagles in 2nd place. So a victory in this game, because they are playing the 2nd seeded, is well needed for them. And this is a tough game because he's got a very high rated player here. And if we look at the board pairings, as it is only round 1, we can see that the Armenian Eagles teams, if you look there, match 4, is very interesting because they've got 1 player 2196, but 3 players who are all about 2600. So it's a good team, isn't it? It's a very good team.
It is a strong team, and the Gnomes have a similar strategy, although they have higher rating average on the top 3 boards, but a lower rated young player on board 4. Alam hasn't been scoring many points so far, and their hope, of course, is that today he will at least catch some draws or maybe a surprise victory. He definitely can't lose. They cannot let him lose all the games. That's just 4-0 to the opponent.
No, of course. And you can see that it's interesting because they've both got similar strategies, these teams, because they've both got lower rated person on the bottom board and then 3 sort of reasonably big hitting GMs. And well, Hammer is one of them. And we can see, going back to the actual game now, we had this very typical structure you get in the Queen's Indian, where White decides to capture on d5 and Black recaptures back. where you get this pawn structure. And now this, if you want to learn about the Queen's Indian, this is one of the pawn structures. I always say the pawn structure like the skeleton.
Yeah.
You're probably bored of me saying this, but the pawn structure is like the skeleton of the position. And this will dictate how you continue in the middle game. And you need to know what your plans are. And this pawn structure you see here, go and look at Karpov's games for a start. He played many games in this. And there's two ways that white can play. And these Armenian players are very classically trained. And the two ways that white can play in these positions is either what we call the minority attack. You try to get the pawn to b5. It's called a minority attack because white has 3 pawns on the queen side versus 4 pawns, so you're in the minority. And you try and push the pawn to b5, weaken c6, and then try to win a pawn over there. But the other way you can play is by pushing in the center, which is a bit more aggressive. And this is what white has played here, Anna. So we now have this position, and that push is double-edged, isn't it? Going e4.
It is double-edged. I don't like having isolated pawns. How do you feel about it? Probably the other way around. Do you like playing with the isolated pawn?
I generally like playing with it.
I thought so.
Because
You've got a
bit
versatile.
of a hacker.
I'm the opposite. I'm like, oh my, I'm gonna be like, my opponent trades the minor pieces, and this is a weak pawn.
You're a bit more. Would you say you're solid? You like prefer solid positional?
Solid.
You do have the nickname Miss Strategy.
Strategy.
So okay, and I've seen some of your games, Anna. You can be a bit of a hacker. I remember when you beat
more of a counter-attacker, I think.
Yeah.
Like if I'm provoked, then I hit back.
You can still strike. Well, you can strike them. But I mean, I think this pawn structure is kind of about style, because if you get to an ending, then this pawn on d4, which is called an isolated pawn, because it can't be defended by another pawn on either c3 or e3. So it can't be defended by one of its brothers. If you look at all the other pawns, they can all be defended by another pawn. So it's a little isolated in the battlefield. But generally, this gives the player with the isolated pawn more attacking chances. On the downside, the endings are bad. Yeah. But knight to f4 play, does white not have a good jump with his knight? Because the rook is lined up against the queen. So it's the kind of position where black has to be a little bit careful, because if that knight can jump somewhere, which I don't think he can at the moment, there could be some danger here in the position. So on the other hand, black is just trying to swap off more pieces, because if Hammer can swap off a lot of the pieces, he will get a better ending, I guess, here. So,
I love the knight on f4. As you mentioned, it might take on d3. You're also targeting the g2 squares. I think black's position is comfortable here. I would pick black, but I already told you that I don't want that isolated pawn. And I think his pieces are very active. He just needs to develop the c8 bishop as well and bring the rook.
Yes, just try to get those pieces in the game, and everything will be good. And what would you do if you're white here? This is another thing. I mean, because if I move the bishop, you have okay. So he has unleashed his rook against the queen. At least trying to go for some activity here in the position. Now, where will Hammer place his queen? Maybe to d6 or to somewhere like this. Put it on a dark square. Well, you can't put it on a light square unless if you want to keep it, but try to put it somewhere safe. Would you, I don't know, even put it over here? That's super safe, or is that a bit passive? We don't like going too passive, do we? I don't think so.
Yeah, that's either very profound and a genius idea, this queen maneuver,
or rubbish.
Which is probably... He's going for it, so maybe it's a genius idea, Simon.
Or maybe just, rubbish players think alike. So, hello, Hammer. And
2600 Olympic player of Norway. Of course, this is just a joke, but I think this has a profound idea. I like that when you pointed out Queen of Fate. I didn't know if it's going to be good, but it's interesting. The Queen of G7, it's like a fianchetto queen.
Fianchetto queen, yeah. I mean, it's very safe there. It guards black's king, and later on it will put a little bit of pressure on this square. And already white has a problem with the d4 pawn, how to defend that pawn in this position. It's not easy to defend, so you want to try to generate some kind of initiative, even if I have to sacrifice that pawn. But I can't see how we're going to do that. I mean, maybe the queen went here to give extra protection to f7. So, for example, if I went bishop c4, and let's say rook takes here, I'd maybe want to go here and try to get some attack, but I don't even have any threats here, so I think black should be absolutely fine in this particular position here after Queen B3. So we're liking Hammer's position so far.
We do like his position. What about the rest of the team and the gnomes?
Okay, so let's go.
Grandalicious against Artak Manukian.
Oh, I love that name, Grandalicious.
And he's such a nice guy.
He's a lovely guy. He's a absolutely lovely guy. Niels Grandilius, one of the nicest guys on the circuit, really. So,
I was going to say that.
He is, and he's playing with the black pieces here against the bottom seed in the team. So this is a game that he'd really want to win. This one here. Did you know Niels' brother is a famous climber? Yeah. So this is climber. Yeah, he's like mountaineer.
I didn't know.
So, yeah, he is. Yeah. I can't remember his name now. I was going to make up a name and try to blag it, but I won't. But Grandalicious, so the player of the black pieces from Sweden. So his brother is one of the best climbers in Sweden and Europe, apparently.
I had no idea.
Which is multi-talented family.
Yeah.
So there we go.
And Niels is a very strong grandmaster, the Olympic player of Sweden, and at the same time he's very good at Buckhouse. So he's basically a world champion of Buckhouse.
Buckhouse, right? Which they do on Chess.com now.
Yeah.
You can play Buckhouse. I used to play Bughouse chess tournaments all the time. I used to love a bit of Bughouse.
I should get into that. I think maybe with Fiona we will team up and play Bughouse.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't play with Fiona. I'd play Bughouse with Fiona.
Why not?
Well, anyone who's seen our streams, me and Fiona playing Bughouse will probably know why. We are literally the worst Bughouse players. Now, I know. Now, look. Now our face. Someone said we've had enough of their faces. Blur them out. Here we are. We're still here at the moment, anyway. But yeah,
and we've got some British water, Venlock Spring.
Yes, some good old British water here. Well, it rains enough in England, so there's certainly enough water here. And well, Fiona is in the chat. Me and Fiona actually played a Bughouse competition in Luxembourg. And then we played, and Fiona agrees with me, then we played online. We played, I think, 6 games in a row, and we lost every single game against average rating of about 1300. So it was pretty terrible.
I'm sure it was your fault, Simon.
Sorry, you're sure? I think I have to say, I think we actually worked out it was my fault in the end. It wasn't. Really? It was, yeah.
No, I was going to say, I think Fiona is a great Bughouse player. I'm going to stream with her. Fiona, I'm suggesting a stream.
Okay.
You and I in Bughouse, and we take on the world. Okay,
I'll take you on. I have to find someone else. So who wants to pair me at Bughouse to take on Anna and Fiona? There's got to be someone out there. You know, anyone will do. Anyone will do. We'll take these patsers down. We'll take them down.
I think I've seen a volunteer on Twitch.
Sorry?
He hasn't.
Well, what's that?
I just can't even say it, but I think you have a friend on Twitch that could be.
A friend on Twitch. Oh, what? Oh, Ben. Hi, Ben. Hello, Ben Feingold. Who we had a little bit of rivalry, me and Ben, but you know we're best buddies. We spent last Christmas together to reconcile our differences. I cooked him a lovely turkey, but he didn't leave me any at the end, unfortunately. No, me and Ben are right. So maybe me and Ben can team up. That'd be quite a cool match. That'd be a lot of fun. I'd actually like to commentate with Ben. I think he's got a nice. You know, we're both out there with our commentary, and you know, let bygones be bygones, and it's all fun. And he's got a great Twitch channel. I've seen it, and he's a good commentator in his own right. Even though he shouldn't have beaten me, bloody Panther. But anyway, let's.
So you have a team. I have a team.
Yeah.
Fiona and I. We just need to find the best date for it in our calendar.
We do. Right. Anyway, going back to the game. So we have Niels Grandilius with black, and white now has more pawns in the centre. Now, generally, that is a good thing. I was taught, like in a Sicilian opening, if we just go right back to move, this position after move 3, one thing I was taught is that black, because white has got rid of one of his central pawns, black positionally is better. Because again, it goes to the pawn structure. This is what I was told. So any endings I was told when I was learning chess, maybe my coach was just a load of rubbish. You know, I don't know. It could have been that. But I was told having more pawns in the central board is a good thing. Hence why D4, the open Sicilian, is a bad opening.
Wow.
So I don't know. It's something to bear in mind. Maybe that is a general rule, very general rule. But it goes back to looking at the pawn structures. And now e5 has been played. White does have more pawns in the centre, but they look a bit weak, don't they? Especially these pawns, e3 and c3. I don't like them. They're a bit backwards. They can't be defended. They're a bit isolated, backwards isolated. They can't be defended by any other pawns. And in this position, I feel they're just going to be targets. Black's bishop. So the pawns are basically the skeleton of the position. And then I'd say the pieces are like the organs. They're like your heart and you're doing things. And it looks like Black's pieces are very nice there. That's a lovely bishop. And maybe this knight can jump into c5. And then even not well, you probably don't want to do that one. No, that wasn't played. But I like Niels's position here. It looks quite good, I think, at the moment. So, would you take Black here, Anna?
I like his position. So I agree with you that ideas with knight c5 and just trying to place that knight on e4. And as you have mentioned, it will probably be a hanging pawn structure.
Yeah.
After, well, it's already basically a hanging pawn structure. You will force white to capture on d4 with the e pawn. If you start attacking the c pawn, so like knight e4, you put pressure on the c3 backward pawn. I think Black's position is just very nice.
It looks good, doesn't it? So we think Niels is going to come through there in this one, definitely. Well, it's a game we really should win, and the pressure is on when you're playing one of the lower rated players. You want to get the points for the teams, if you're the team. I mean, round one, we can already see we have a couple of results. We've got the live results being updated above us, and we can see Delhi Dynamite and the Mumbai Movers. So the two Indian teams, which, I mean, they're kind of the Indians. They're doing very well, aren't they, in this league?
They are.
I mean, going back to the team standings before this round started, you can see that both the Indian teams are very likely to go through to the next round and qualify. And as we discussed, also both the Indian teams have some really good players, in some big hitters. There's Anands, there's Vidits. There's loads of good guys there. I heard Vidit is a good dancer.
Is
I heard
he?
that. I heard that. I heard in
From Waikanzi.
Waikanzi.
Clips from Waikanzi.
I heard some rumours about Waikanzi that he's a good dancer. Can anyone clarify that? Did you see him dancing?
I might have seen some pictures, and I also saw Anish as a DJ, so that was
Anish
the
is a
duo.
DJ.
Yeah.
Oh right, okay. Is he a good DJ, Anish?
I heard it. He is.
Yeah. Okay. Does he? What does he play? I bet he plays a bit of 50%. That was a bad joke. Sorry, 50 cent. I meant 50 cent. Sorry, 50%. 50%. Draw. 50%. 50%.
The guy basically won the Tata Steel chess tournament, so I think.
I know. I'm just joking. He's a lovely guy,
I know.
And of course he is. He's a great player, isn't he, as well? I mean, he did. I mean, it was really good to see him. He's got. I mean, his reputation, Anish Giri, is not deserved of having so many draws. Because you look at the way he plays some great chess as well. But anyway, we're trying to hear. It's nice to hear the backstories for some of these things, isn't it? That goes
sure,
on.
it makes chess more colourful. It's not just a black and white board and pieces.
No, there's people behind them. So, okay, so should we move on maybe to another game? We like Niels' position at the moment in this one. And I'm just checking to see if Anand has started his second game. Do let me know, Anna, if you see Anand up there at all. But how about we have another quick look over to see how Hammer was developing his position after Queen f8. So the game continued, knight to e4, and generally exchanges do help the player playing against the isolated pawn.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Black will be generally happy with this, and he does exchange on e4 and then exchange on d3. And now a very simple move, bishop f5. He's probably going to exchange the last piece there, Anna, I'd imagine. Just get rid of that one. And then you're going to play against this pawn. And this is the position you'd like to play, I guess, Anna, wouldn't you? This one?
Of course, I like it. Without the minor pieces, this is, I think, an advantage for Black. Not a big deal, but it's you who will put all your pieces targeting the d4 pawn. So double rooks on the d5, queen can go to g7.
Yeah. Sorry, I just saw an interesting possibility. Try and keep my knight. Could I have gone check? And had you gone king g7, could I have to move my queen? My queen is attacked. Could I have gone queen there? There's the kind of thing I'd like to try.
Wow, I can't take it because you have d5 check and you're mating.
I don't know. You have to go king here. Then I thought I have at least a draw here with some checks. This kind of thing is white I'd want to do because I don't want to slip into a bad isolated pawn position. This way, I don't know, your king's over here. I mean, it must be some danger here. I can even use let's say a lot of my little friend maybe in this position. I don't know. That was an interesting idea, just to try and keep my knight, because that's a lovely square for the knight. And of course, if I can get my queen on the same diagonal as the king, I've got d5 coming anyway. So there's a possibility. But instead, rook d1 happened, and now after bishop takes e4, this is going to start to look really grim, isn't it, for white, because of the pressure against here. So that's why I think I'd have preferred to have gone for that tactical possibility in that position. Rook takes e4 has been played, and black is just a little bit better here, definitely, no doubt about it. Do we have Anand power yet? Do we have Anand power? Can we see Anand? Is he playing anywhere? He's the Mumbai. Hasn't started yet, has he? So, okay. Well, let's dive into another game. And should we go to another very famous and big name from India is Harikrishna. Now he's playing for the Delhi Dynamites. I think this is his first.
It is his first time playing for the Dynamite, so they have just signed him up, and he's making his debut. As we have mentioned, all the Indian top players are debuting in the Purchase Day last week. Viswanathan Anand, this time it's Harikrishna. We have the whole Olympic team playing in the Purchase League.
Yes, so they're supporting their team as well, aren't they? So and Magnus Carlsen, as we know, often plays, but he was doing well. He just became 960 unofficial world champion yesterday.
Exactly, so he was very busy winning that match. I'm sure that he will be back. He's very dedicated to his team. So basically, the Norway Gnomes is a group of great friends, and they're also the Olympic team of Norway at the same time.
So I mean, it's great to see these guys get so involved with this league. I mean, it's fantastic, because I really see the future of chess being more of this kind of pro chess league, big leagues online. So I think it could certainly kick off, and we can see now that we have a very interesting pairing here.
Wow, I love this one.
It is a pairing.
This one, a legend against the youngest grandmaster.
Yes, the youngest grandmaster in the world at the moment, and I can't pronounce that name. Can you pronounce it? Wow, you made it look so easy. Say that again. That was too quick for me.
Nadirbek Abdusattorov. It's not too difficult.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, how many languages do you speak, Ella?
I understand 5.
5.
But
okay.
I wouldn't claim that I speak 5 of them. The Russian and German is understanding.
Okay. Wow.
I don't really speak them anymore.
That's still pretty impressive, though. So yeah, very impressive. I mean, especially for people like me who struggle to speak one kind of language, you know. So
you're doing a very good job, Simon.
Well, it's embarrassing when someone like Svidler speaks much better English than any Englishman in the world. I mean, he really does.
He's just amazing, and I think he must have read many books, and also he loves cricket. So all those broadcasts.
Yeah. So someone told me his aim was to have enough kids so he could have the first ever international Russian cricket team just with his kids. You know, his kids could be the whole Russian cricket team, which I think is quite an interesting idea. But okay, in this game, so we have Anand. Well, we don't need to introduce Anand, ex-world champion, current rapid play world champion, and he's playing the youngest grandmaster in the world. And is he only 13? Is that right?
He is.
13 years old. So
he got his title, if I'm correct, at the age of 13 years, 1 month and 11 days.
Wow, it's quite impressive. So, and well, what's happening here? Rook e7 has been played, and has now taken on f7. So, is there some nasty tactic going to happen here? Is something nasty occurring in this position, Anna?
I guess his idea is that after rook takes, bishop takes, king takes, he has the move queen b3 check, so he will not allow your king back to safety on g8. If not, normally you won't give up 2 minor pieces for a rook and a pawn. That's something that we try at a certain age or at a certain level, and then we realize that actually the 2 minor pieces are normally more useful in this middle game. But here after queen b3, I think the problem is the black king, so that should be the point of Vishy's move.
So let's have a look. Where does black king go? I mean, if I go to g6, that looks very exposed on g6. I guess you can play something like knight to f3 here. Try to attack things like that, possibly. Let's have a look. So if I play knight to f3, in this position. Maybe come for you like this when I'm threatening
Oh, this is
these
horrible,
kind of things.
threatening both the capture
Yeah.
knight h4, so I don't have time for h6, king h7.
No, because you're
And
just.
yeah, if I defend the pawn.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
this is really bad.
Yeah, queen f7.
Queen f7 comes. Yeah, good point.
So if.
So let's have a look. So knight takes. I think he has to take that one, doesn't he? He's got no choice. He's got no choice except to take this one. And we are thinking bishop takes, king takes, check. Can the king go anywhere else? Let's say I try to put it on e8, but then you come in here, check. And it looks so ugly on e7, doesn't it? So the black king in a really bad position. This is the kind of sacrifice that Macau Tao like doing a lot. I mean, Macau Tao, one of my favourite players, had my Donald Trump hair there again. I really don't want to have Donald Trump hair. It's not for at least another 5 years of my life anyway. And this is the kind of thing that Macau Tao is quite famous for, actually. In a lot of games, Macau Tao, ex-world champion, my favourite ever world champion, he specialised in having the rook versus the two minor pieces and attacking with it. And that seems to be the situation here. I mean, maybe now if you could try to get the bishop to c5, something like this, the danger is going to continue. I mean, you might even play some move like f4, just trying to blast through in the centre of the board. But this is very dangerous, isn't it? But a very interesting game here so far. Okay, well, he didn't even do that, Anna. You know what he played here?
What did he play?
He played knight to f3.
Really?
He did not take. He's just going for a slower plan. Is that working? Is that working at the moment?
Oh, right. So he basically just wants to pick up that rook. They're saying that, well, you have to do something about the hanging queen. So let's say queen takes d1, rook takes d1. And in that moment, he's threatening knight e5 and knight g5.
Yeah.
Well, this is winning an exchange.
If it's winning exchange, it'll be winning the game.
Wow, so it's even better than what we were calculating.
Yeah.
With queen b3 check. Wow.
This went really wrong, really quickly, didn't it? For black. I can't.
Oh, no, dear back.
It's strange. You had him in your
on my fantasy team every week, but this time we didn't have time to fill it out, unfortunately. No. But no, dear back, you are my favorite player still.
So, and did you had Anand as well on your fantasy team?
Yeah, last week, but he wasn't the best board one last week. So
he wasn't. No.
So, yeah. But I think now he probably will score 4 out of 4.
Now he's warmed up a little bit.
Yeah, so he has. It was still a new platform for him and new everything. I've just seen, by the way, that those of you who are on Twitch, you can click on the link that says multi-stream. So that means that you will be watching us. And you can also, at the same time, see the players from this division who are streaming, for instance, Hammer. So this is a very cool feature on Twitch that you can see multiple streams at the same time. And depending on which one you click, you will hear the audio from that one, but you see all of them all together on one page.
Yeah. Ben's asking us, Anna, whereabouts we are. I mean, we were saying Anna's really living the jet set life at the moment, and Anna,
in my suitcase, I'm living.
You're living out your suitcase at the moment, and Anna, who was commentating over with Magnus yesterday, and are you?
With Yasser, I was commentating on the match of Carlsen Nakamura.
And you've flown into England today.
Yeah.
So
tomorrow I'm in Spain.
In Spain tomorrow. Wow, all over the shop. So you're down sort of where I live at the moment, and we're filming from. Well, a little studio I have, which is quite cool, quite fun.
I really like your studio. Then we should take some photos here.
We will do, yeah. I'd say I'm a bit sorry about the green screen I've got going. I know it's flickering a bit, so I apologise for that. But
I didn't realize actually it's paint. I thought it was a green screen, but you have actually a green wall.
I have a green wall behind me, but it's misbehaving today somehow. So it can't handle two gingers on screen, I feel. So do you have any good gossip at all? I'm not a gossip girl. You're not a gossip girl, okay. Oh, okay.
But it was a very nice event in general and very interesting concept. It was not only a match, but it was an art exhibition. So the match was listed on the among the exhibitions of the art center. It's the Henny Unstad Art Center near Oslo. They have different kinds of exhibitions, photographs, paintings, visual art, videos, very modern type of art as well.
Cool.
And one of the exhibitions was the Carlsen Nakamura match.
Wow, okay.
Because it was part of the
part of an art.
part of a photograph exhibition, and together with the players, it was a performance, an art performance.
Okay, brilliant. So
I love their idea.
I love that. It's always interesting. A lot of people see chess in different ways. I mean,
Yeah.
some people see chess as a sport, and I think the Pro Chess League here is making it more sport-like. We'll just catch up on the moves, sorry, while we continue this conversation. Now, Black tried to play c4 to blunt the bishop out. The bishop came in, and now it does look like, well, it looks like Black is really struggling to keep the exchange. And okay, we had now very weird position here where White is going to be material up because he has the two rooks. And let's just see if things simplify. And we have this weird position, two rooks versus three pieces. Should be better for White. The rooks work very well in the end game, but the three pieces can sometimes be annoying, but I think Black's doing well. So you were saying like...
White is doing well.
White is doing well, yeah. So yeah, I mean, chess is here. I think this is more of a sport, isn't it? Because it's very competitive.
Yeah,
it's like, you know, it feels,
for sure.
But I kind of like it as an art. I mean, what do you see chess as? Do you see it as a sport, art, anything, combination?
You know, this was the question that Hikaru was asked on the very first day when they had some press meetings, and Hikaru said that classical chess he thinks is the three of it: the science, art, and competition. He sees all three elements.
Yeah.
Fischer random.
Yeah.
Science is out.
Okay.
So what remains is art and sports.
Okay.
Which I think is why we love Fischer random, because there was basically no theory. Even when they had time to prepare for an hour, they could barely predict two moves.
Yeah.
So I love that. Even though classical chess is of course what we mainly like, it's good to have a parallel variant that brings some color.
I mean, I love the idea. I mean, you know, Fischer random basically is 960 starting positions.
Yeah.
Is that right?
And in this match, it was 959 because they couldn't draw the classical position.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
It was forbidden.
So you had to take 959. But I met this guy in Germany about 10 years ago. And I played a bit of 960.
Oh, you did? You were one of the organizers of mains?
No, I didn't. He was just he played in this 960 tournament, and he talked to me that he just spent, basically he said he spent 3 months searching all the opening positions. So he'd already developed theory. He told me 320 of the positions, and I was just thinking, okay, well, is it just a matter of time until there's going to be theory coming out? I mean, I can't see it happening, but I love the idea because I hate opening theory in general. I think it spoils things.
I feel the same way. It's just nowadays it's becoming too much.
Yeah. Maybe it's just a matter of time. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
the two players were very well prepared in terms of for the match. They wanted to take it very seriously. But even like this, all their preparation was a 2-3 move opening, like how to place my pieces. So I think that's still much better than memorizing 30 moves.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's an interesting concept. Something I like to sort of take part in. I hope there's more competitions.
I'm sure it started something now in Norway.
Okay, back to the game. Well, it really does look like Anand is going to win his second game here because rooks work very well on open lines and they work very well in the ending. And in this position, the two rooks are just really motoring across the open board here, with the bishop being pushed back, and Black's pieces also are very, very passive back there. So I can only see one result here, and that's going to be a win for Anand. Keeping an eye on the scores as we're going forwards. Round one is over, Anna. So we have, well, the Oslo Trolls are really struggling at the moment, and they lost their match to the Estonian Horses. As we mentioned before, the two teams from India won their first round, and Norway Gnomes, good news to them, very, very important match. They won the first round 3-1 when they lost last week 4-0, so that's a really important win for them there.
It is quite a different start.
Yes, definitely. And to remind everyone of the team standings just before, so you can see the teams in green go through to the next round, and well, you can see the little bit of when's my hand going to disappear? Look at that!
Wow!
Do you want to try? There we go. So,
we are the headless people.
We are. So we could probably do that with our heads in a minute. It'd be quite fun. And, but yeah, you can see there's a big battle. But the Armenian Eagles are one of the favourite teams. So it's really a really important game for the Norway Gnomes there, because they are sharing that position, if you see, on 2.5 with 2 other teams. Things are getting very tense now, Anna, in this competition.
Week 6, and with this week plus 3 rounds, that's all that they have to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's it. Not much time at all. And again, we're just staying with Anand's game. He seems to be cruising. He's about to pick up a pawn, pick up a penguin, and then his B pawn's gonna roll up the board there, I feel. And he'll probably just win this one without too much trouble. The problem for black is, I guess, Anna, that the knights, they can't find any squares, can they?
Yeah, there's no outpost.
You can't find any good squares for the knights at all. And it's just winning this position. 2 rooks are doing a great job at the moment. So, okay. Anyone else you'd like to have a look at, Anna? Any games we should maybe keep an eye on?
How is Vidit doing in this round? And by the way, you were mentioning chess variants and that you would also like to play. Now I see a link to the Crazy House Championship that will be on Chess.com. So those of you who want to try out new variants, that's another championship coming up.
Yeah. So your favourite one, is it Bughouse? Or
I think, Fiona and I will challenge you in Bughouse.
Okay, that'd be interesting. So,
but we can also play Fisher and Crazy House. I haven't played, but I think I should start also with Crazy House. And now I'm into variants.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, after you commentated in this match, you got.
I'm like, wow, the pieces are in there, the correct squares. How strange is this?
Weird.
So what is this?
Yeah, what is this game?
Yeah, and last night, after the closing ceremony, we had a nice dinner and some blitz games with the organizers and the stuff. It was so strange for me to play a normal blitz game. I mean, after 5 days of commentating on Fisher Random, I was like, why is it like this? Danish opposition.
I can remember a funny story when I was a kid. By the way, lovely win there. If you were asking how Vidit was getting on, and we can see. Let's just go back. I just want to show this combination. Vidit with the white pieces here. He now started a lovely attack. He went G4, which looks very risky because it's opening his king, but his rook is lined up against the enemy queen. And the whole point of this is to bring his pieces into play, forces the black queen to a passive square, and he just picks up that piece. Very simple tactic and a very simple win. And he finishes off very nicely with this little knight to e4, blasting through to g7. So that is a very smooth win for Vidit, who's playing for the Mumbai Movers, along with, well, the one and only Anand. And I'll put it on another game. One person we haven't talked about is this player, the Gorky Stormbringers, Dmitry Adriakin, who's a very, very good blitz player. And we just leave the position on his game. But it reminds me of your story there of something I incurred when I was junior. I used to play a lot of junior tournaments with my friends, and we always played Bughouse and football. So in between the rounds, not at the same time, but you know, there are two things we enjoy doing. So we'd have like a break in between rounds. We'd go outside, play football, or we'd just play Bughouse. And I remember we played so much Bughouse one day. There was about 5 normal games, but we didn't care about the normal games. And my friend sat down at the board in round 5. He was doing pretty well. It's under 10 championships. And in the opening, he was white. And this is how his game went. He was white. Let me just flip the board. And this was a normal game of chess. And he went here. His opponent went here. He banged out this move. And then he banged out there. And because in Bughouse, this is quite a good way to play, because you open up your opponent's king, and then he sort of looked around and he looked for the pieces, because normally the idea is if the king takes there, you throw another knight into e5. So he looked around, he was looking for another piece, and then he's like, knight, knight, knight. He didn't actually say that, but he was like looking around, and he was like, oh, I'm playing a normal game of chess.
Oh, right.
So he just lost the piece straight away. So you got to be a bit careful with these games.
Yeah.
Don't let them affect you too much. But we do see there that Adriakin did win his game against the Mumbai Movers bottom board. So the scores, Anna, Mumbai Movers still doing well, but that was an important win for the Volga Stormbringers. That one.
Yeah, I'm missing one game there, if I can count. There's a 4th game that still week played. Also between the magicians and the dynamites, there are a few more games from round 2.
Yeah, just trying to flick through the ones, and I'll just close down any games that are finished now. And the other team we haven't mentioned much at the moment, of course, are the Estonian Horses and the Oslo Trolls. Now, looking at the team standings, the Oslo Trolls are really struggling. But I mean, if they lose today, they're out, aren't they? I mean, I'd have to say they're really not going to be in. So
difficult, very difficult for them.
But
it's of course already a huge deal that 2 Norwegian teams got into the Pro Chess League. There are 2 Indian teams, so it just goes to show how strong the players from those countries are. The Oslo Trolls is basically, if I can call it, the Norway Gnomes B. So the Gnomes, many of those players are in the Gnomes, but since you can only have 4 players, you will not be waiting for your turn when Magnus is playing in the team, Hammer is playing, Ariantar is there, Agdenstein is there, so it was just very difficult for them to get to play.
And it's great that they're getting experience just in these things playing as well. I mean, it's valuable experience playing against some of these top players. And another top player we can see is Harikrishna here, and he's playing against I don't know so much this guy who's playing for
Suder. He's a grandmaster from Switzerland, so he's the free agent of the magicians.
Free agent.
Yeah, they can have 1 free agent on each team, so a person who doesn't live in the city where the team is from.
Okay, right. And well, it looks like it should be a draw, but I've seen Harikrishna very good in the endings, kind of grind out these kind of positions. He's got a slightly better pawn structure because the black pawns on the king's side again are isolated from each other. The white pawns can defend each other. For example, the pawn on f2 is defending the pawn on g3. So I think white is slightly better in this position, but nothing too serious at the moment. But yeah, so I think, I mean, the Trolls really in trouble. They're probably going to go out. The Gnomes, nice first round win, and it looks like the Indian teams, the Delhi Dynamite and the Mumbai Movers, are maybe the teams to beat in this league at the moment. Okay, so well, H4 played. I expect this one's going to be a draw. Any game you particularly want to have a look at, Anna?
I see some of the games are just starting. I would probably go for something that's about to finish. Kovalenko against Vayapsuri.
That is
down to 1 minute and 13 seconds for Vayapsuri. Sorry for my pronunciation.
It's probably better than my pronunciation, so I would not worry about that at all. And interesting position we have here.
It is a mess and no time on the clock. At least black is down to 8 seconds, so it's a tough position to defend against the 2600 grandmaster. But Suri himself is a 2560 rated grandmaster from India playing for the Dynamites.
Yeah, I mean the one plus thing for black in this position is he's got an extra piece, so he does have an extra piece, but white, on the other hand, for the piece, has the attack, a very nice pin on the E file. And when I say attack, there are obviously opportunities against the black king side over here. I can't see how the opportunity is going to get through, but look at the time situation. Whoa. Okay, is white going to play for a win, do you think, or is he going to take the draw? He's going for the win. That's a brave decision there. Brave decision.
Does he have enough?
Whoa, nice move there. He's given up the queen.
Takes on through the checks. It's going to be a lot of material for the queen.
He's got loads of material there. Why he could have gone bishop takes queen there, completely winning position.
Whoa.
He could have won the queen. He missed winning the queen. It's all going crazy here. But it's just still very good for black. And he's going to win another piece.
Okay, this is game over.
So Kovalenko, his brave play might be backfiring. Can he weave a mating net? Can he get the king to h6 and weave a mating net? He's going for it.
How is the mate? Because h6 is not a mate.
There's not many mates there, no.
He played king g8 simply.
So white is going to pick up one more piece there, but it's only one small piece. He's not even going for the piece.
Yeah, I guess there was bishop e4 threatening h6 mate.
Aha, nice idea. And is he going to try to play king here and h6 mate? That'd be a lovely way to finish the game. Black clearly winning. Black has too many pieces for the queen here.
He's
going for it.
Funny. So it's a lost position for white, but we are just waiting because we want to see how the mate will be.
He could go for a stalemate if you can get rid of these 2 pawns. That's something I would try to do.
Yeah.
If I could get rid of these 2 pawns, then give up the queen, it's stalemate somehow. But that's a bit too much, isn't it? So is this mate now? It must be mate. Or we can win the queen by going to h5 with a rook. He wants checkmate though.
What was rook f7?
He could have won the queen straight away. And now the knight is going to try to maybe get to f7 or f5. Oh,
beautiful.
Oh, that is nasty. There's no way. There you go. That's an important win, I think, because
Sure beats Kovalenko.
Very good victory for Sure there. Kovalenko, one of the big scorers. And I think it's time we brought out our fishy chess. What do you think, Anna? Should we go to our fishy chess? Bit of fishy chess. And when we mean fishy chess, we're going to have a look at some of the top players in the league so far. So we can see who's been performing the best. Now, just bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to. You'll see what I mean by fishy chess in a second. And here we are. Where are you, fishy chess? Here we are.
Beautiful. Welcome to the aquarium of Georgia.
That's it. This is where I go to relax, you know. Just chill out here, look at the screen.
I love the turtle.
I know, he's lovely. And I love the jelly. I feel like jelly sometimes. So big piece of jelly. And we're just in our aquarium here.
Wow.
So it's a half-time break. Hanging out with our fishes, not anything else, as some rapper would say.
So we are looking at the fishes in the pool, starting with Magnus Carlsen on 2800 performance, 13.5 out of 16.
Yeah.
And Caruana also performing above 2800, 12.5 out of 16.
Yeah, that's it. And we can see Harikrishna has only this is the first day today, but Magnus playing a good event so far. Mamajarov is scoring well. He's now world number 2. And Anand last week didn't have the best of weeks, but his rating performance is going to improve massively at the moment. He's had 2 wins, so it will be a lot bigger. I have to say, the idea of the aquarium, can you guess who it was who gave me the idea to get the aquarium as a backdrop? I love it. They're going to get wackier. We're going to get wackier and wackier backdrops.
And those were me?
Yeah, of course. How could it not be? How could it not be?
He's a genius.
He's a complete
genius.
Have
you seen the video he did with one of the moments when Magnus played the Hungarian defense and I started celebrating? So he immediately, I was like, I wanted a clip of that, but he immediately helped me, and he had the idea of placing the Hungarian flag, the huge Hungarian flag, and with some Hungarian folklore music in the background, and we just.
I don't think I've seen that one. I've seen most of it. I must have missed that one.
It's on my Twitter.
Brilliant, because
it's really cool.
I'll have to see that. I mean, if you don't know Dan Antle-Squaremy, search him. He's what I think is the funniest and best artwork out there. And he's a sound guy as well, so check him out. But I'll have to look at that one. I'll have to look at that.
And also the Fiona vlogs.
Vlogs, yeah.
So the amazing vlogs that Fiona records, then Antle-Squaremy helps her with the editing. So that's an amazing job as well that he's doing there, helping us out with all these chess tech stuff.
Definitely. I mean, he told me about the aquarium, and now we have the aquarium. What should I have next time? Maybe a bit of space behind me, moving space or something. I don't know. Or can dancers? No, we won't go there. No, okay. Now, individual scores as well. Another thing we have got this week is the individual scores, looking at the people in the league so far. So this is the Eastern Division, and we haven't had this so far. So the Eastern Division, the division me and Anna are dealing with, and we'll bring up the map. We're getting to sort of the halfway mark pretty much now. You can see who has been performing the best. Out of the board ones, well, the Armenian Eagles, board 1, has been performing fantastically with 13.5 out of, I don't know how many points it'd be out of, probably not maybe 15. But that's a massive score, isn't it?
Super Saturday for many games, so it's a bit. I can't add up the numbers.
No, I can't even know. But he's got the biggest score out of the whole league. So really, the Armenians Eagle board 1 has been taken through to victory. Of course, not everyone's played the same amount of games, but this guy, he should be on your fantasy team if he's not already. I think he's scoring so high.
I That was a big
Yeah.
jump.
That's it.
For next week.
Yeah, for next week. So this is the live score, individual scores that we have, and just to bring up the world map as we're going from screen to screen, we are dealing with the oranges there, which is quite appropriate, I think. Don't you?
Yeah, this is the ginger division.
This is the I like it, the ginger division. Can we rename the division?
Oh please, let's just tell Greg about it right now.
That's it. It's now
League
been called
Commissioner Greg Shahadi, the creator of the Pro Chess League, he should know that this is appropriately called the ginger division.
the ginger division, and of course, being the ginger division, we are dealing with all the teams in orange. And before we go back to the games, let's have a look at the prizes that are up for grabs in this in this tournament, should I say. $20,000 first prize.
Wow.
So not bad. Social media prizes. These are for the team that maybe has the highest profile, I
I'm
think.
trying to get one of those prizes in my pre-Pro Chess blog, but it's not being posted.
It didn't work. Yeah, so it didn't work. Oh well, we're just being told a little bit of information. Thank you, Robert. That if we go back to the individual scores, the player we mentioned here on the massive score of 13.5 on the Super Saturday weekend, he did most of the damage on board 2 actually, and he scored phenomenally on board 2. But he's really
7 points out of 8
7
games.
points out of 8, which is tremendous. Okay, well let's go back and see if we've got any action going on. So where should we go? Where should we go?
Do we have the chess team in chat, by the way? I was going to have a look if we have. We are looking at the Twitch chat. I was just wondering if we can also check in with you guys on Chess.com. Any new messages? Let's see. What do you guys are saying?
Just update the chat.
We'll wait for the messages to come in. In the meantime, which team would you go with now for round 3? And let's just have a look at the score. So we see it there, just above. The Dynamite winning the match so far convincingly, 5.5, 2.5. It's 4.5, 2.5 for the mover. So wait a second. Does it mean that the Dynamite? I need to add up the 2 numbers. There's 1 game missing from the Volga Mumbai match. Still going on.
There is. So we could go over there. This is round 2. So the Mumbai movers against, is it Kovalenko? Let's have a look. No, this one's just started. That's the Delhi Dynamite round 3 game by looks of it, actually. And Delhi Dynamite here against Riga Magicians. Oh, right, this must be the next round then.
Yeah, this is
round
already round 3 for them. They started earlier than the others, but there must be still 1 game from the Volga Mumbai match.
Okay, so bear with me and help me out if we can.
Yeah, let's just try to
find this game. And let's see if we can get it. And this,
no.
We are searching for the game that's
or
still going on.
The other option is that, oh, it's here. Yeah, that was the one.
Aha,
okay,
So this is the last game of the second round, so the halfway mark between the Volga Stormbringers and the Mumbai Movers. And at the moment, the Mumbai Movers doing very well. So really, the Stormbringers need to get a win here, don't they? Otherwise, the gap is going to be a 2-point gap at the halfway mark. If White can win this one, then the gap will only be 1 point, which is very, very doable to get back into the match. And White has some chances with an outside pass pawn there, but unfortunately for White, the Black King is quite near to coming across and stopping that pawn. But some chances here, I'd imagine, if you can combine the bishop and pawn coming up the board, and going on rating, of course, White is playing the lowest rated player, so it's a game that White, I think, really needs to win to give the Volga Stormbringers a chance in this match.
F4. Wow.
F4 played, and excuse me. And I suppose the idea is to just trap the pawn here. So if the bishop ever comes into the game, that pawn will drop. I think that's what he might be going for at the moment. But is the a pawn just going to queen? I think Black will need to put the king on a7. If you put the king on a7, there's no way the a pawn can go forwards. But then this pawn is going to drop. So White's looking good at the moment, I think.
Looking good for them though.
Very good. And I think white will win this one. Important win for the Volga Stormbringers. Let's just see the last moves of this one as they come through. So, right. Well, he's dropped a bishop. He's dropped a bishop.
I was looking at the chat.
I know, but I think still white is still doing well. White has blundered a bishop, but his position is still good enough, I think. But he's got to win this one. If he doesn't win this one, this would be a major blow for the Volga Stormbringers. So I think this is really important. Anyway, can white still win this one, Anna?
Oh.
It's a big G pawn.
It is, but objectively, I don't think that this is still possible.
It might not be, especially now that you're going to drop these ones. But is the G pawn going to queen? This is quite hard to defend. Where do you put the knight?
6 seconds on the clock.
I don't think you should have taken that pawn. How are you going to stop this one?
Yeah. How's he going back?
I don't think you're stopping this pawn.
Oh, this was bad. This was bad.
This was very bad. And of course, this should now be winning for white, as you've only got a knight versus the thing. So we just play it out and see if okay, we resigned there. That was a bit of a weird game, wasn't it?
Wow.
Very up and down game. Very up and down indeed.
So Damido wins, which means 3.5 points.
Yeah.
And 4.5 for the movers. This is still quite close.
It's still close, that one, because there's only 1 point in it. And that was a very important win for white in that game. Now, we should have the Norway Gnomes playing very soon, but let's just see if we have any chaotic games. We need some Harry action, don't we? Do we need some Harry attacking?
Harry or Gary, but some action.
We need some action. Okay, well look, I can see Harry has pawned his way up to h4.
Whoa.
So should we have a little look? Let's have a look what's going on here. And this is a very, well, on paper, a close encounter, because both of these players, grandmasters with very similar ratings here. We have white with 25.93 and black with 26.19. So queen takes d3. White has these lovely bishops attacking the black king, and if he can ever get the h-pawn going, he'd be all right. But black is a pawn up, and black, if he can swap the queens off, black will be very happy, because then there's not as much danger to his king. So I think here, as white, I'd want to keep the queens on the board. Something like queen g4 would be a natural move, and we can try to do that. So maybe queen g4, something along those lines.
I think you're right that he should go for that, and clearly the target is the g7 square.
Yes, I think so. I mean, I don't really want to swap the queens off the board here. I think I want to keep them on the board, just because I think the endings are going to be something that black will be happy to face here. So queen g4 indeed has been played, and look, Harry is ready, Anna. Harry is ready. He's ready. The little man is getting action ready.
So how can you prevent h5 here for black?
Because then I want to burst through here, don't I?
Yeah.
I can play this one.
The f-pawn is pinned, so there's no way of covering the diagonal with f6.
No.
What is he supposed to do?
I don't know. h5 is a very, very big threat here. Very big threat.
I don't really see him move.
I don't see a way to stop this one either. Can I play king h8 and try to meet h5 with f5? Do something like this? Did he indeed play that? So if I go here now, you can play this, but I love this move. Look at Harry, would be such a hero. That would be such a hero move, wouldn't it, if you could do that?
Queen hanging, rook hanging, and you push h6.
But I think you can go queen takes c3 here.
Oh, yeah, but it looked like winning.
I don't know. The point is, if pawn takes queen, look at Harry. That is the happiest Harry on the world, that one. He's a proud Harry. We're going all the way. I don't know. Does that work? I think f5, h6. Maybe there's a better move than h6 here. Looks like black's position is horrendous with all these coming in. What about rook e7 here? It's another idea. Again, you can go queen takes c3, getting rid of that dangerous piece. I don't know. It's very complicated. What happened? Well, we're still okay. Did this actually occur? Did this occur in the game? King h8, h5, f5, and now he just played the more sensible bishop takes g7 check. King takes, rook check. And the point now is the king here. I think now you use Harry to the best of his abilities. Harry is a hero. Well, actually, there's a mate in 2 there as well.
Beautiful.
Oh,
And so he won, and Jason
very
keeps
nice.
collecting points.
Very nice. Very nice use of Harry there. Just to demonstrate this. This is when your H pawn can really rock and roll. And we had, look how strong this pawn becomes. White keeps the queens on the board. He pushes, and now a nice little tactic, cracking on g7, and then he has h takes g6, and this is game over because rook takes h7, g7, checkmate, too strong. There's no way you can defend here, is there? So it's
beautiful.
Nice.
So
Very
7
nice.
and Jason wins the game, and with that the match score is it updated now to 3-2, or it takes some time to see the score?
Might take a little bit of time, and this was for well, this is a big game we got here as well. But do we have do we have, let's have a look. Has Anand started? We should really keep an eye on Anand. He has started. Let's go over there, shall we? We've got to have a look at Anand and see how Anand is getting on. So, okay, so we do have Anand with the white pieces playing against the worst open in the world. Do not tell this to John Bartholomew, the Scandinavian. What do you think of the Scandinavian, Anna?
Well, I like playing against it, but I think those who are a fan of the Scandinavian, including my father, they just like it because it's first of all, it's not so difficult to learn, like the setup, and if you like this kind of chess that you have less space but you have a very solid structure, so it's a slight advantage for white in most positions. If it fits your style, then go for it.
Yeah, I agree.
Not your style, I think.
I don't like being so cramped, you know, and I don't like bringing my queen out too early as well. I mean, I've seen a lot of disasters occur to it. You mentioned your father plays chess, so did I see him in a book on hexagonal chess? I don't know.
Did you?
Mate, I brought a book from a bookshop, from my local bookshop in Godalming, and I found it in the local bookshop in the games section, and it was like 10p, and it was on hexagonal chess, and I think I'm sure I saw Rudolph in. I don't know, maybe I don't know. Is that possible? I don't know.
You've seen a book on hexagonal chess?
I've seen a book in a hexagonal chess. And I don't know. I might just be thinking of something totally different here.
No, when my father played the World Championship match in hexagonal chess in China.
Oh wow!
I was like,
wow!
How does Simon know?
This is crazy. I thought it. I'm sure it was. Yeah, because I'm sure this. I found this book in a charity bookshop here. It was 10p, which is like, you know, it's nothing. You know, it's not even. And I thought it's hexagonal chess. What is hexagonal chess? It's on a hexagonal board. So I brought this book for 10p, and I thought, I looked through it, and I thought, bloody hell. And then I thought, sure, someone Rudolph? That can't be Anna's dad. That can't, and it's your dad.
Yeah,
so your dad
basically
that's well cool.
Semi-world champion of hexagonal chess. But
wow, that's really cool.
20 years ago, I think.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really cool. So your dad got to the world championship hexagonal chess.
Yeah, he also likes chess varieties. It's in the family.
Wow. Okay. Brilliant. That's so cool. So did he become hexagonal chess champion?
Yeah, I think if I can recall well, it was a tie, the match.
Yeah.
And he has got the trophy from there. I know that there's this trophy from China.
Okay.
They went all the way to China by train.
Wow. By train.
Mom,
wow. Okay.
The trip took them more time than the amount of days they spent in China.
Sure. How many days did it take to get by train there?
I think it's about, I don't know, over like a week or 2 weeks.
2 weeks in a train.
I can't recall now, but it was
the love of hexagonal chess.
old train system about, I don't know, 25 years ago.
That's cool. That's really cool. So what's your dad's name? Do you want to?
Laszlo, I see it
Laszlo.
in the
Okay.
chat now. Somebody
Laszlo
knew it.
Rudolph. Okay, so someone knows. So does Dad still play chess, or like
He loves chess. He
Okay.
goes every Friday to the chess club.
Okay.
He plays classical chess. He plays
Yeah.
the Scandinavian. He loves Backhouse
Yeah.
as well.
Okay. Brilliant. Okay. So and he loves his hexagonal chess.
Yeah.
So
We do
that's
play when he has an opponent. It's more complicated to
Yeah.
find an opponent in hexagonal chess.
yeah. Have you ever played him in hexagonal chess?
For me, it's just difficult enough to find a legal move on that board.
On
It
that
looks
board,
completely different.
So it's the same. I was reading a book. I couldn't get into it. It's the same as chess, but on a hexagonal board.
It's 3 colors, 3
Yeah.
bishops, more pawns.
Oh, it's like Star Trek chess, isn't it? So yeah, but it's unbelievable. In Godalming, where you are now, where we're in England, a little bookshop. I found this book, and it was your dad. He had a big beard, didn't he? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I can remember.
You need to show me that book.
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, I'll try to. I'll show you the book another time. So hexagonal chess. Sorry to digress, but it's funny how little stories sometimes come together like that.
Like when you
So-
started telling me the story, I
Yeah.
was like, did I tell Simon about my dad and hexagonal chess, or how
just-
does he know?
There can't be that many people who play chess with the same surname, though. I guess, you know. So that's why I thought.
Not
yeah,
with F. There's
there's no-
Anna Rudolph with PH. That's not me.
No.
I'm Nick with F.
Oh, yeah.
She's PH.
So it's quite unbelievable. It's quite a strange little story. These
It
these
is.
bookshops, you know. I love old bookshops. You know, I do love looking in my
Oh,
crazy little bookshops
I'll
and weird
tell my
books.
dad about this.
So, yeah, you should do.
Let's see.
Yeah, you should do that. I found a book on him on hexagonal chess. Okay, well, going back to a more normal game, rectangle chess. No hexagonal action going on here at the moment.
It's just square.
Just this normal boards. Look, and we had well, let's just show how things developed. We had Vichy swapping off on e4, and now he just plays very sensibly. He has a bit more space because of this pawn. And where does black put the king? Do you really risk going that way, or do you take a bit of time to castle king side? And now an interesting decision here. White exchanges his bishop for the knight, but the point of this is to get a fantastic knight upon the e5 square, which is a really nice square for the knight, isn't it? In the centre of the board there. And queen b6, now c4, with ideas maybe c5 and e5, d5 and queen a4, that kind of stuff going on. Maybe something like that. So
I like
could
that
we-
idea, yeah. And catch that king until it's still on e8.
Yes. So yeah, it looks like it. Try to get the queen check in here and try to keep that king.
Oh,
Stuck.
look who's here with us in the chat. Shout out to Eric, the chess bros.
Hello, Eric. Yeah, and good to see you in the chat. The chess bras, they're in a tough spot now. I mean, I thought they'd cruise through the chess bras, the qualifications, but they've actually got a bit of work to do now to get into the qualifications.
Division. This year, actually, the Pro Chess League is much more difficult to play.
It is. But I mean, I think I'm sure both of us wish them the best of luck because
Of course, we love the chess bros.
it's not the same about the chess bras.
It's not the same.
It can't be the same. So the chess bras playing later. It's a day of chess, but they probably need to win, don't they, to go through.
The Atlantic division. So it's after our division, it's the Central division, and then the Atlantic. It's pretty early still, isn't it? In Canada, what's the time in
I think
Canada?
so. I've no idea.
You're an early bird, Eric.
Is he maybe he's just gone to bed, or is just getting back from maybe he's getting back from the nightclub, Valentine's clubbing, something like that.
Valentine's
possible.
clubbing.
You know, I don't know. It's possible. You never know with Eric. I'm sure those guys know how to party. I have to say, I'm really impressed by Chess Bar's stream on the Pro Chess League.
Yeah, they have
it's
a
very good.
commentary with the cameras on the 4 players. I love watching it.
It's really good. So, best of luck to them later on. Anyway, I didn't actually get back to you, Eric, as well about coming to Canada, but I think it's going to be
You were
hard.
invited and I'm not.
I didn't get an invite. It was some.
Eric,
No, I
Excuse
didn't get an invite. It was some.
excuse me.
No, I think we mentioned it on the stream last week. It'd be nice to
No,
go
you
there.
haven't been to the mansion.
I haven't been. It's kind of like the Playboy Mansion, the Chess Bra Mansion. Is that the rumour that's going around?
I hope it's not full of ladies that are not going.
So I don't know. I can just imagine what the Chess Bra House is like. Who knows? Do they have the jacuzzi area? I can't remember. Okay, I better move on back to the game. So, well, Bishop E3 being played. Black has put his king over on the queen side. That has got to be a target for attack now. Surely that king is going to be in some trouble with a pawn storm coming up the board here, Anna. I don't know. White should be doing well here. Where's Black's attack? White's king is perfectly safe. How do you even get a sniff of action against the white king there? It's not easy, is it? So
it isn't easy, and the bishop is in g6, which doesn't make it very easy to push the g pawn. So I agree with you that it's easier for white to create attack on the queen side, and opposite side castling is about launching an attack against the opponent's king. Here, the only thing I see that could favor black as a factor is the semi-open d5 and putting pressure on the d4 pawn.
Yeah, I guess if you try to increase the pressure with something like that, that just looks suicidal, though.
It's very double-edged to push that pawn.
I mean, opening up the king more. I mean, I may even be able to take the pawn anyway, even though my queen is pinned. This is probably quite a good, simple way to play. Rook takes rook and take here. I mean, there might be better ways, but that's certainly one way to play the position after c5. Yeah. But I really like Anand's position at the moment. c5 was played, and now rather than going for a capture here, Anand just pushes on with d5.
I like that.
Yeah, I prefer that one as well. I just feel that the king is going to be weak. Maybe there's a b4. B4 would be a typical push that white could play in this position as well. Now, I think there's still another 12 hours of commentary on this today on Pro Chess League.
This is just beginning. We are only the pre-show here, just warming up the place for the rest of the commentators. It's going to be epic. It's Wednesday. It's Pro Chess League. 4 divisions, 32 teams, so many prizes, and we are getting close to the first stage of the event, which is today and 3 more rounds. Then we will know who qualifies for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's it. And then the playoffs against it's knockout stages.
Yeah.
So that is
even more exciting.
Really intense.
I see that the Estonia horses are winning so far the match very convincingly. 6.5, 1.5 against the Oslo Trolls, which means that they only need 2 more points from the remaining games to win the match.
Yeah. So yeah, 8.5, as we know, is the winning score. So that is the score magic number to look out for. Well, while this game is going on, I think we've been told there's another big encounter between Vidit and, I mean, maybe we could keep an eye on that. I mean, what do you reckon? Should we leave Anand, or do you want to stick with Anand? I was thinking of Vidit versus
Let's look at Vidit, and we might come back then to Vichy, because we think that Vichy's position is good, and he's going to win this game. That's our prediction. I
think so. There were some more moves, so we'll just catch up. Bishop d6, and now, well, White going for a more positional approach, just trying to target these pawns, and it's maybe not as big an advantage as he had hoped for. And what Black has managed to stabilise somewhat here. I mean, his king is now reasonably safe, actually. So, okay, still an advantage. Now, this game is a big game between 2 big hitters. They're both over 2,700. So, I don't know. I mean, you could say super GMs. Like, superhumans.
Yeah, super GMs, super GMs.
Super GMs.
2600 is super GM, and 2700 we can call them the super GM.
What's 2800 then?
Superhuman.
Superhuman GMs.
That's what Magnus was called yesterday when he just kept beating Hikaru. He already won the match and he kept winning games, and he was called a freaking superhuman magician.
Okay, I like that. Freaking superhuman magician.
Yeah.
I think he is, isn't he? I mean, he's just unbelievable. Yeah. He really is, Magnus. I mean, he's just so strong. There was an argument a while back saying that the Grandmaster title is fine, but there should be another level above the Grandmaster title, like the Super Grandmaster. Yeah. So maybe if you perform over 2,700, you can get the Super Grandmaster title.
I would approve of that, yes.
It's probably just another way for FIDE to make some money, though, isn't it?
No, then we don't approve. We would approve.
No, okay.
It's just a prestigious title instead of money grabbing.
Not money grabbing FIDE. We don't like that. But going back to the game, it looks like to me that isn't there a check and Rook h5 here? Isn't the Black King is in serious trouble? Okay, White is a pawn down, but there's 2 ways to attack here. You either attack this pawn on h7 with Queen h5, or something like that, or you go for a check, and I just try to mate you. Why don't I go there? Just trying to, but then I guess black can try to run away. I mean, it looks so risky, this position for black, and Vidit has 8 minutes to try to find the correct way to continue. I mean, you've got at least a draw. You can always do a draw by this, by repeating the position, but with the black king in such a bad position, you're going to play for a win here. And this is a very important game because you're looking at the scores, and the Volga Stormbringers, they are a point down, and they need to bridge that gap sooner or later. Queen h4 was played, Anna, just winning the h7 pawn. It looks horrible, but can black defend? Queen d2, is there not a mate here? Is there not a mate? There must be a mate.
He has defended the h6 square, so it's not mate with rook h8 and queen h6, but it's looking very fishy.
It is. I mean, the queen, like say, is guarding this square over here.
It's not even material down for white. He didn't have to sacrifice the piece to get this position.
No, and he's always got a draw in hand as well. But I can't see the mate, because a lot of times the black king is going to run to e7. But maybe the idea is to go f4. Oh no, it's not. Oh dear! Don't let me in charge of the position, Anna. Oh God! Do you want to just point out why f4 is a bad move? Let's say b5,
well.
f4 to block the queen's entrance here. And now I'm just going to go check and checkmate. Why is that a problem, Anna?
Maybe the other guy checkmates first.
Maybe. Can we go back to hexagonal chess?
Yeah,
Give me some hexagonal chess. I don't want that to happen to me. So okay, so that wouldn't be good. So king sack, I like that, from Funux on the Twitch chat. Now another thing I would like to remind people, we're mainly concentrating the chat on Twitch. So I guess you're watching us mainly on twitch.tv chess. Now, if you're not already following or subscribed to the chess channel, you can subscribe to the Twitch channel, and that will give you access to all the archives in Twitch, which I think you only get if you subscribe. You also get what's called emotes. So
really cool ones.
Really cool ones.
Yeah.
So you can get your name sort of more recognised and stuff. So yeah, do subscribe. It's well worth doing. And I think also, we haven't had anyone do it, but you will get your name mentioned above.
Try it out. Follow, subscribe, and so you will see your name up there.
Definitely. Okay, well, back to the game. We have.
Okay, it's going to be made while he's just picking up the bishop on c8.
What happened there? So sorry, I missed it. I was blabbering on again. What did he just blunder? I think he just blundered the bishop. He didn't need to play like this. And well, of course, now it's going to be winning. There's only tricks that black is playing for. It was a tricky position for black, though, anyway, wasn't it? So it was looking difficult, whatever the position. Well, people are asking, Anna. Obviously, you've been on Chess.com TV. You're taking over the Chess.com TV world when everyone loves it. But you have got now. You've only just recently started your own Twitch channel, haven't you?
Yeah, and you helped me a lot with it, because my channel is still a new channel. It's a baby, and Simon was kind to come over to my channel, so we were streaming.
We did a stream together.
You were streaming on your channel, and you told your people, hey, now I'm moving over to Anna's channel. That just shows how gentleman Simon is.
Oh, it's very kind, but it's... Oh, look, we have someone who's done... Look, subscribe, go Blizzard. We got it, so there you go. You can subscribe.
Thank you, Smarter Chess.
Thank you. First person who subscribed, and you can do that through Twitch Prime. So well done, Smarter Chess, for subscribing. So you will get your name mentioned, but also do subscribe to Anna's channel, Twitch.
And to your GM.
Twitch.tv, Anna Chess, and you can to mine. We both got our own Twitch channels, and we do loads of stuff in the future.
It's Ginger GM without the underscore, so
yeah.
Many streams coming up.
Many streams coming up. So, okay, and well, going back to the game, looking at the scores, some close matches, Anna, going on. I mean, the Norway Gnomes are only 1 point up now, aren't they? So that's going to be a very close match. Delhi Dynamite are really closing in on the victorious score. The Oslo Trolls, I think they're going to have to just troll from now on. They can't, you know, no point playing. Just troll it. Just become trolls. Don't do it. And also just other shout outs to people to say hello. Chess Bay.
Chess Bay, hi.
We love Chess Bay.
How are you?
Hello, Chess Bay. Sella Bethel, another regular who I recognise on the Twitch stream.
And your friend Ben.
And Benjamin Feigold. Hello there, sir. First time I called you a sir, but you know, we have to be gentlemen in England occasionally. Only joking, you know, it's all good, all behind us, and we're all working and trying to promote chess, all of us. So that's our goal. Well, this game's over, isn't it? With correct play from White, and White is now targeting the pawn. Another one.
Snack Monkey. Thank you.
Just subscribed as well. Do subscribe to the channel. You get loads of bonuses. And have you heard something I'm going to do on my Twitch channel, Anna, just while we wait for Vidit to win this game?
Host? Are you hosting?
I'm going to host on my channel, but I'm trying to bring in Ginger Coin to my channel. So maybe we get you involved as you're a fellow Ginger. As you're a fellow Ginger. Yeah.
I love that idea.
Yeah. So it's not like Bitcoin, but it's going to be, I'll be able to reward it to people in the chat. And as they build up their Ginger Coin, they'll be able to buy stuff or challenge me to a game, or get a free mug.
That's
I don't know.
A really cool idea.
Oh, it was quite interesting.
Ginger Coin.
So yeah, and as we're both gingers, we look a bit more black and white today because
it's a Halloween ghost stream.
It's the ghost stream, but generally, should we get in the Ginger Coin? You'll be up for some Ginger Coin?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, ginger Coin. I love it.
Okay, we have Sam Copeland has also subscribed, I think, but isn't Sam? I'm sure.
No, the Rex for World Champion 2025. Okay. I agree with you, Sam. Yeah. There you go. Nadia Rex, my favorite. How is Nadia Rex doing?
All right, should we go over there? Well, if you can direct me. There's also Anand's game, but you know, do you want to go to Anand's or should we go to? Is it this one? He hasn't started yet, by the looks of it.
Okay.
So let's go quickly back to Anand and see if Anand did manage to win that game where he was getting some very stiff resistance. Now, let's just pick it up from around the stage, well, the last position we had after f4. And Anand was still better, but his position was maybe not as good as it looked. And we had now Anand relying on the positional trump of a protected passed pawn, meaning that pawn is going to be very dangerous for the rest of the game. It's guarded, it's going to queen, maybe. Queen d6, and now we enter into an ending, and let's see how this ending is going to be. Again, white must be better with this pawn, must be better. And now king and pawn ending, and the danger here for black is that the king always has to stay around this pawn, while the white king can travel anywhere. But can the king get in? Let's see. Or has black managed to get a blockade? And now, well, they're dancing, and can the white king find a way in? If not, it's a draw. Otherwise, black has managed to draw this very tough position. Is this a draw, Anna? I mean, it's you need to get the white king into the position. Can you do that?
I was going to say if he has time to do this pawn break with h5, and if g5, h6. Do you have time to do that?
Maybe also just g3 is simple here.
Perhaps it's easier than giving up.
h6 is interesting, yeah. I like this idea of Anna's, and if you take Anna, you're going to go king in.
h5 I was going to play.
And now you just want to take this pawn and maybe come around here and queen.
I was wondering if I'm in time to do this. If the f and g pawns of black could start moving. The good thing about white's position is the d5 pawn. It's pass pawn, protected pass pawn, so the black king is glued to the e5 square.
Yeah, that's right. That's the thing. The black king can't really, well, it can't ever come like here, because then you let the Derek the d pawn loose on the position, and that will become Derelina the queen. And
I like that, Derelina.
Derelina. Never met a Derelina in my life. Do you know anyone called Derelina?
No.
No, neither do I. I don't even know if it's a word.
Now with the Game of Thrones fever, plus you can call her Daenerys.
Derelina. I like it. Oh, yeah, nice name. So, well, let's have a look. Well, okay, f5 check was played first. King g5. Now pawn takes h5. And it does, king takes h5. It just depends if the king can get in. Now, have you got d6 here? This is the key move to start calculating. Is d6 working? Is d6 working? So, what's up, Anna?
Good time.
What's up, Anna? Come on, come on, you can tell me. You can tell me.
I just saw.
Did someone? What did you see? Come on, Anna, you've got to tell me. I can't let that nice laugh go without being kept in the dark. Did you see?
Well, I just saw that someone on Chess.com, a little boy, declined your
Oh, oh, right,
friendship
okay.
request.
Yeah, I didn't even. Did I send him a request? I've got this weird setting on Chess.com where literally I send out friend requests, it seems, to everyone, and I don't even press a button. So everyone, and I hope it's not just little boys I send out friend requests to, because that would just be weird.
You have just been rejected by a 12-year-old.
I know. Apparently, I just got this message popped up on the screen, and there's this picture of this young boy who said, and the message was blah 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 rejects your friend requests. Well, what a heartbreaker. So that's why no one wants. I've got no friends. Can you be my friend, Anna?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I've got one friend. I've got one friend in life. That's good.
Well,
So
we've got the turtle and the jellyfish.
yes, we have. We got. Let's just say hello to our little. Let's say hello to our little friends, very quickly. That always relaxes me so much.
It is cool.
Good. Okay, I'm relaxed now. I'm relaxed. Is Anna winning this one then? Is this one winning? With King G8, am I winning? I mean, I don't know. Let's say I go G5, King here, and now if I play King F5, I want to try and come and take B6. This is the way I'm going to try to win. The other way I can try to win is here, but then you just go king here. And actually, if I go G6, I'm going to lose now.
Yes.
So this is one of those mutual zugzwang positions. So it's not clear. This is why Anand, look at the time difference. So he could actually, you know what he could do now? He could go and cook himself some dinner. He literally could. He could be like, right, okay, my opponent's got 19 seconds left. He doesn't know what I'm doing. I'm going to go and make myself a burger. So thank you for just subscribing to the Rancher. That's very kind of you to subscribe. So are we going to get black in Zugzwang here? Are we going to get in Zugzwang in this position? King H7. So one way you can try to win is come and take in this pawn, but you've got to calculate whether black is going to get there in time. The other way is you can somehow try to get the G7 pawn, but the only way to win I can see is probably coming to B6. Is that going to work, Anna, or is it going to take too long? This is not clear that Anand's winning, but look at the time. 15 seconds left for black. I mean, that's a horrible situation to be in. Horrible situation.
King F4, look at that. Well, King G6 should be the good move, and G5, he's trying to trick him with the...
I think he's tricked him. King F5, now he's got black in Zugzwang.
Wow, how easy.
Well,
but
this is still winning. This is great. I mean, if you take, the king comes, but the other... Okay, this should be winning for white.
Yeah, because he will take first, and then you protect your pawns with King B5.
Yeah, simple. Nice win from Anand. Very nice technique there.
Very well played.
And we'll have a look at the highlight that in a
Textbook
second.
victory, King B5. Oh, he plays King B4, but it doesn't change
Probably
anything.
Doesn't make any difference there. And now, well, King B5. Nice that you saw that. I've been take pawn. Very nice win there from Anand. Good technique.
Can we just have a look at the moment after G5?
Sure. So
because it still didn't feel like it was. Is it already winning?
Yeah.
King F7, King F5.
So if King F7, I think you have to go backwards. This is black's only chance. And now I probably have to go King F5. The problem is, if I ever go for the B pawn, I'm too slow because this kind of position, the G pawn is too strong. You
should try to force me push G6 as black, so that you take away the square from me. Like if here black plays G6, King E5, King E7. The question is after King D5, black doesn't have a useful move coming closer, but he's still covering the 6th rank. So I think objectively, we don't have much time to analyze it, but it looked like a draw.
I agree.
But he got tricked very quickly, and 14 seconds on the clock, so it's normal.
Yeah, I agree. Well
played by Anand. If we look at the scoreboard, the Dynamites have already won the match. Rishi plays for the movers, but we see the two Indian teams just doing very well.
Yeah, I agree. And well, Delhi Dynamite have gone through, and I think Anand has won every game he's played so far this week. So he's got 3 out of 3. He started with 3 draws, so he's warmed up. And he's back and kicking. If you've got him in your fancy team, very good choice to have. So they're playing great. And he pressured his opponent there. And I think really that's one of those positions where you need another minute at least on the clock, don't you?
Yeah,
in order to have a chance to draw in that one.
And against Vichy. So
Vichy.
another match that is close to be decided is the one between the Oslo Trolls and the Estonia Horses. It's 7.5 already for the horses, and 6.5 in case of the movers. So Vichy's victory adds another point to the movers against the Stormbringers.
That's right, and it looks like the Mumbai Movers are going to get there. Very close match with the Gnomes and the Armenian Eagles, and we did mention this. We will obviously have a look at because it's going to be the last match to finish. But the Norway Gnomes, if we look at their team pairings, the team standings, the Norway Gnomes, they're in danger because they're in 2.5 points, and this win against the Armenian Eagles would be massive if they can beat the Armenian Eagles and knock them down, overtake them. They would if they win this. So very important match, maybe one of the most important this week, and currently they are 1 point ahead of the Armenian Eagles, but it's only a point at the moment. So okay, now Vidit's game. Okay, Vidit did win that game. Very strong player, Vidit. I mean, I think if I was picking a fantasy team, Anna, I'd have to have Vidit in my fantasy team. He qualified for. I think he's going to be in the world elite in a couple of years' time. I'd say. I would be.
Same.
I would imagine. I would just he's so strong. He's just such a strong player.
Very strong. He works with Anish Giri plus the Indian players, so good potential already, and he's got the right team. He's working with the right people.
Yes, yeah. So definitely be a pick for me to be a 2,800 player even one day. Vidit. I think he's a real class act. So, well, let's have a look at Hammer Time, who is a regular streamer for, on Twitch and for Chess.com as well. And Hammer Time has the black pieces here. Looking at the score, they're 1 point up. He's playing for the Gnomes, and this is yet again, a very important game. And well, at the moment, who would you take here in this position, Anna? Would you take white or black? I think I'd go for white because I like white's knights seem a bit more active. I've got my knight in the centre, and my other knight could be very dangerously placed on f5 where I can hop into an attack. Thank you for subscribing.
Thank you.
Kawanora. How do you want to do? You'll probably do a better job than me there.
No, I'm not sure. It's very difficult to pronounce your handle, but we are very grateful for your subscription.
Definitely, and like I mentioned before, if you do subscribe now, you get lots of benefits on Chess.com, on the Twitch. You can look at the archive, you get emotes, we'll notice your name more, and other bonuses will come in future. And it's cheap to do so, and you'll get your name mentioned live on the stream for the prosperity of the history of mankind.
That is correct.
Is it?
That's the
or did I just make that up? I don't know.
I think that was a beautiful sentence, and this should be a life goal for everyone.
Okay.
Every chess fan.
Okay, well, White Raverex is asking for the fish tank again.
We need a little bit of a chill.
Just a chill time.
The turtle is about to.
The turtle will come back.
Swim over your head.
No, here he comes. I wonder if I can open my mouth and do a Jaws. Hang on, we will come back to the chess. Sorry, that was just stupid. Hello, turtle. Okay, well, that was very relaxing. You shouldn't eat turtle, though. Turtle's a very rare animal. I don't want to eat turtle. What am I doing? Why did I just eat the turtle? I just ate a turtle. I don't want to eat turtle. It's an extinct animal. Okay, back we go. Okay. We digress there a little bit too much. Take me back down from the ceiling. Okay. Yes, I like fish as well, especially on my plate, cooked. No, I like fish and fish tanks and all that kind of stuff. Now, we were mentioning the individual scores, so let's have a look before Hammer decides upon a move. Hammer is in a slightly worse position in this important game. The individual scores, we can see some of the players who have been performing brilliantly for their teams. Now, anyone with 9 points or more is been performing excellently. Of course, some players have played more than others, and this has been before this match had started. But you can see up to this moment in time that for the Armenian Eagles, Zaren, no, sorry, Savin is been a great performer. You've got Gupta has been an amazing performer for the Delhi Dynamites, helped them on their way through. And what about the Norway Gnomes? Who's been the big hitter? Well, the players at the moment in Norway Gnomes are pretty virgins to the team. So except for Hammer, who's played one time. So anyway, it's nice to see the individual results as they come through.
Feature, yes.
Okay, so now back to Hammer's game. Important game. Looking at the scores, there's only 1 point in it. So Armenian Eagles, if they win this game, they will level the score. And Hammer is now on the defensive, placing his knights near to his king in order to defend his king. But the white knights, very dangerously placed. Got the other one potentially coming to f5. Black always has to watch out for checks. And I might even be able to grab a pawn at some point, take this one. So in general, this does look like white is pushing at the moment in this game. And we just mentioned the player of the white pieces is the top scorer in the league. He is the top scorer of anyone. And he should be on anyone's, clearly on anyone's team. What do they call in the teams? Because you can pick your team to win this 10,000.
Yeah, the fantasy chess is about picking your, I call it the dream team, because once you find the 16 players that score the highest number of points on their boards, you get $10,000. So
$10,000.
Dream
wow.
team.
That's a dream $10,000. Yeah. So.
And beat back Shahadi. Yeah. Two objectives in life.
What's more important, the 10,000 or beating Shahadi?
Beating Greg.
Really? Okay. Wow.
And get the money.
I'll take the 10,000 then. That's pretty good. Well, okay. So anyway, it's the player of the white piece has been a phenomenal influence for the Armenian Eagles. And while we have a look at this position, he is propelling them into the next round of the competition. Queen takes b2 played. They've both got a pawn, but now, well. If I was black, I'd be really worried about the safety of my king. Another thing that everyone can do, if you are in the chat, watching this in the chat on Twitch or on Chess.tv, you can get it. Oh, sorry, I think it's put water all over you there. That would have been embarrassing. Sorry. I know the fish tank was cool, but we don't want to actually be in the fish tank at the moment.
I'm just having this lovely British water that we got together with our lunch meal.
Yeah, all over your face. But people can in the chat. Where do they go to join into the action, and they can have a chance of winning 10,000 as well, can't they?
Yeah, go to prochessleague.com and you should fill it out every week before the first matches begin. So now it's too late for this week, but for next week you should do it on prochessleague.com. There's always a link for fantasy chess. So click on fantasy chess. As soon as the pairings are out, you can pick your players.
You can get in there, and that you don't have to pay anything to do this, do you?
No, it's free.
It's free.
It's free to participate, and every week you have a chance to win $10,000.
Wow, 10,000. I mean, look at that. Sorry, look at that move. That is such a beautiful move.
Is that a 10,000?
Oh, that is. I mean, look what happens. Oh no, I've lost the knight.
Oh
no. And now this diagonal is a killer.
No.
Here it comes. Well, we could go to b3. And look at this. This is my favourite checkmate, the smothered mate.
I love it too.
I mean, if you haven't seen this checkmate before, this is one of the first checkmates that anyone should learn. It's just a beautiful checkmate. That is such a beautiful move. Knight d6, trying to force the black queen off this diagonal. But anyway, as you say, Anna, sorry to interrupt there, anyone can win this $10,000. All they have to do is enter. Go to the Pro Chess League.
That's it. Just
the only way of doing it. Yes. So I'd imagine now white has a lot of tempting moves. I'd be tempted to play c4, but he's gone a bit greedy. He's just grabbed another pawn. White's got a pawn up. Maybe queen d5, swapping off into an ending is going to do the job for white. Get the queens off. Hammer is in trouble, and this will even the score for the Eagles, and the Eagles can still win this match. This is a match which the Gnomes really need to win, I feel. Otherwise, they're going to be struggling to go through to the next round. They might need to get that Magnus character back.
I think they will get him back if the gnomes are in trouble. But this is certainly an interesting day where we see 3 matches basically very one-sided, and only the gnomes versus eagles match is rather balanced.
We're just being told that Hammer is agony on his stream. I don't know if that was his agony or he's in agony.
And I see angry. There must have been a misspelling before.
Oh, angry on his screen. Okay, I thought he might be in agony as well,
or
he might just be agony. I don't know. I don't know which. There could be a lot of translations of that, but I can imagine he is. Well, I don't know about angry. He's going down in this game, in this important one, because I mean,
the captain is going down. And last week, remember the disastrous result of the gnomes starting with 0 out of 4 and then 1 point out of 8.
Yes.
It was a horrible start, and they almost made a miracle. But then the captain decided that John Ludwig Hammer, that he had to play. He had to save his team.
He had to get in there and give it a go.
Yeah.
And he's now losing in this game. But he, to be fair, he did win the first game at least, and he might have won some other ones as well. And we're being told a bit of inside information. Hammer is hammering his desk. Hammer is hammering his desk with a hammer on hammer time and having a hammer moment, happily hammering away. Hammer. How many times can I say hammer in a sentence? It was a little challenge, but he's 2 pawns down, Anna, and it should be losing this position, shouldn't it? It looks tough. It looks tough with these pawns coming through, so that will even the score. Anywhere else? By the way, Mumbai Movers are 1 point away from winning their match. 8.5 is the winning score. So, is there a particular game you'd like to look at, Anna?
I think we should look at the match of the movers. They only need 1 more point. Also, the horses need just 1 point, but there the third round is still not over. So you see that the magicians versus dynamites and the Stormbringers versus movers matches started earlier. Therefore, those scores, you see more points simply in those matches because the games are finishing earlier.
Yes, yeah, and it's, you know, these matches will be over earlier, which is good in a way, because I think one of the matches of the round today is going to be the Gnomes versus the Eagles.
Have the Gnomes in the end,
and that'll be the game that's going to be last to finish, and that's going to be a great one to stay tuned for. By the way, the Estonian horses have crushed the Trolls. They've already won, and that's a big win for them. Let's have a look how that affects the standings. I mean, this is before the round. The Estonian horses, very important win now, because if the Gnomes lose the match, they overtake them. And the Oslo Trolls, I think they're out now. They're not going to go through to the next round, but they're a young team, so they have a future for sure. Okay. People are wondering who's more pale, me or you. And I have to say, I think it's just the way the lights are. Now, I have got a studio here, but I didn't manage to set up the lights, my sin, no one else's, to the best abilities. I think it's in person me who's more pale, definitely. I mean, you live in Spain, and I literally live in dark England. So I mean, I've just changed it so you look more pale. That's how cruel I am to make myself look a bit more colour.
So appealing.
Yeah, maybe I can change the light around a little bit more, but okay, next time. Sorry about that, Anna.
It's alright. It's just such a pleasure to be commentating with Simon in person. I don't know if you guys realize, but there's nothing in between the two images.
There's not.
I can put my hand here.
And it will go through my head. So, yeah. And and well, the feeling's mutual. First time we commentate together, and it's a load of fun as well.
It is a lot of fun. I just hope our vlog will also be posted, because we actually recorded a short clip for you guys before going live.
Yeah, we did, and maybe we'll get another video in afterwards as well.
Yeah.
You know, let's get some sneaky recap.
Just a recap of the round.
Yeah, and so do have a look at Anna's Twitter profile after this match, and I'll retweet it on my Twitter profile there below. And you can look at the inside, what goes on after we broadcast it. So good stuff. Okay, so Hammer is getting hammered. Oh, that's such an old joke. Such an old joke. It's not even original. It's not funny. I know Ben would appreciate that. Only joking. But Hammer is getting hammered.
Yeah.
But where should we go? Well, should we have a look at the by movers maybe, because
Yeah,
they're
I
1
think
point
so.
away?
And the horses are just collecting even more points, so the match is won already for them. And now they're getting extra points.
Well, this is a match. I mean, okay, I'm gonna have to go. This is a game.
Wow,
we can't miss this
Anand.
one. Yeah, we can't miss this one. The two of the highest rated players. You've got world champion Anand. He's the current rapid world champion. Adriakin is one of the elite Russian players. Adriakin with white. So let's have a look at it from white's point of view, shall we? Or do you want to look at it from Anand's? Which side would you like to take, white or black?
I think from what I see in our community, black.
You want to see it from
I see
black?
more Rishi fans in the community.
So we're going to tend to be Anand here.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. So we're taking the black pieces, hence why we've got black here. And now we have the Queen's Indian defence transposing into the Queen's Indian, which is one of the most normal lines. Bishop G5. And here Anand unbalances the position by capturing on C4, and this gives up the centre, but it's a way to make the position more complex. Queen A4 check, and now Adriakin is just trying to win his pawn back, so it's basically Queen's Gambit accepted. B5 played. Wow, what about that for a move? That's a crazy move. Anand playing super aggressive in this game.
Yeah. I recall a variation like this, not that I remember it because my memory about theory is horrible, but I recall an idea like this.
Yeah.
In these type of positions. So I'm pretty sure that this is still not an opening preparation for Rishi.
Yeah. I think so, and I think one of the points of this move is he's trying to take advantage of this bishop here being out on G5. This idea would not work so well if the bishop was back home on C1, because after Queen takes B5, he goes Rook B8 and he takes on B2, and he's trying to say hello to my little friend, which is this dangerous Rook on B2. Knight BD2, and he continues developing, and now he takes here with the idea of stopping white from castling because of this check. King F1, Queen B8. It's a very aggressive play from Anand here, Anna.
It is.
Do you like it? Do you like the way he's played this one?
I love it. And I was just going to also point at the scoreboard because the horses not only won the match, but they won 10.
They're still going.
And there are games going on.
There's still. Could this be one of the biggest scores ever in the Pro Chess League?
It could be if they continue like this. Although there have been many big scores, especially in the first rounds, but now this is huge.
It's massive. It is, and you know. That is, 10 points. I mean, and they're still going. They can get 12-2. Is 12-2? That would be the final score, wouldn't it? If they win the next two, that'd be phenomenal, phenomenally big
14-2.
score. 14-2 even.
Yeah.
14 is 1 round to go. You're right. Yeah. But the game we currently have, well, the Mumbai Movers who are being led, their charge is being led by Anand, and they only need 1 more point. So if Anand does win his game here, they are through and they will be in a fantastic position in the league. Both the Indian teams are doing very well. The Delhi Dynamite have already won their match. Will Anand get 4 out of 4 this week and bring home the bacon for the team?
The bacon.
The bacon. Little English expression. We like our bacon.
Yeah, I was wondering what would they say in India? Like, I understand it's an expression, but I started thinking about Indian food. Like, bacon is
bring home
the curry.
Bring home the curry. Bring home
no,
the curry.
I'm not creative enough. I know.
I don't know. Well, it's funny in England. You probably saw for the 4NCL, Fiona took our team to an Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's kind of tradition that our team, and this is in the British League, I play in the British League, Fiona Fianchetto is our captain, and it's tradition, great captain. It's tradition that we go for a curry on the Saturday night, the whole team. And the funny thing was, we went into this curry place for a curry, surprisingly enough, and there must have been another 60 chess players. There was another 5 teams. The whole curry place just had chess players in. it was
just
weird.
what you wanted to prevent, maybe.
Well, maybe, yeah. I mean, it was all right, but well, they were nice people. Ben Purton's team used to play for were there, so it was good. Yeah, so it was really weird that this whole restaurant had just been taken out by people at this curry house, and
I
it
love
was nice.
curry and I love Indian food.
I do as well.
And Indian food.
Love it as well. Definitely. Okay, well.
By the way, Robert is informing us that last week the Amsterdam Mosquitoes scored 14-2. So that's what Estonia is trying to match. By the way, that 14-2 last week when I was filling out the fantasy chess lineup, I was on a plane, literally heading to Oslo.
Yeah.
And I had this inspirational moment, and I thought Amsterdam for the best score, because you need to pick which team will have the highest score.
Wow.
But then I thought, why would I pick Amsterdam?
Okay.
But I had this moment of clarification.
Did you go for it?
Above the clouds, I didn't.
Above the
clouds. And look at that. 14-2, and I didn't go for it, and I had this intuition, this moment of clarity above the clouds, and then I didn't do it. So from now on, I will always listen to my intuition about the teams.
Definitely, I think if you have any thoughts when you're in the sky, you should probably stick to them.
I completely changed afterwards, because I was like reasoning why not the Amsterdam Mosquitoes.
Yeah. I mean, you should definitely go for. I definitely think so. Yeah. I mean, that's a massive score, 14-2. I mean, Estonia trying to win that now. Who was the losing team? Amsterdam, who did they beat? I don't know.
London Towers.
The London Towers.
I'm afraid so.
Okay. I have to say, I last season I kind of got that team together, and they haven't done so well, have they?
No,
the London Towers.
On the bottom of the standings in the Central Division, but there are still 4 rounds, so who knows if today they can.
Miracle time. One of the players, actually, Blair, he sometimes comes into this office and he lives a couple of miles away. Yeah, so maybe he should play from here, and we can stream it or something. You probably that's too much. That's too much. We'll see. Okay, well, looking at Twitch chat while we stay on this very interesting position. Jacka Kara Singh.
Yeah, I know Jacko in person. He came to see Sopiko and me in Vaikansi.
Oh, okay.
And he had a banner with him when Sopiko was playing. It said Sopiko's fan. He's a very nice person. And now I'm officially presenting Jacko to you, Simon, because he's a fan of you. I can see it from the chat. That's
very kind. Yeah, hello. Nice to meet you. Whatever that means, electronically meet you, I guess.
E-meet. I like it.
E-meet, yeah, e-meet. It was quite
so in terms of the matches, it's 9.5, 3.5 for the Dynamite. Very good score. The movers still need that 1 point, but it's likely that either Vishy. Whoa! Shall we just have a look at the game of Vishy again a little bit?
Still sticking with this one, and it's both sides have what we say are going to castle by hand. It's a bit like 960, as you were saying.
I was going to say, I like it.
they haven't castled traditionally, but it looks like White's going to put the king on g2 and Black's going to put the king here. Now, at the moment, White has the better pawn structure. If we go back to talking about the 2 important things, the skeleton, the pawn structure, and then the thing that makes the skeleton work, the pieces. So I say skeleton and your organs, like a body. And the skeleton, at the moment, I would say is better for White, because White has 2 pawn masses, you call them pawn islands. On the other hand, Black has these 2 little pawns over here, which can be weak, especially on a half-open c file. The c7 pawn would be weak. So the skeleton favours White, but the organs, the pieces, I would say Black is better developed at this moment. And he's trying now to get rid of his weakness, c5. He's trying to get rid of his 1 weak pawn. It's opposite kind of bishops. It's kind of position I can easily see liquidating into a drawn position. I can remember Dmitry Ajakin actually beating Magnus Carlsen last year in Pro Chess League.
Yes, he did. So he's a dangerous guy.
Very dangerous. Yeah.
Rapid and blitz format he loves.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he's pretty good at all formats, isn't he? He's world champion at nearly everything. Do you think he'd be world champion at chess boxing?
I meant Andrei,
Ajakin, sorry, yeah.
I think he's even stronger in blitz rapid.
Right,
I mean, he's very strong. He's at 2700. Of course, no one can take away from him. But I thought that the blitz and rapid time control favors him.
Yeah. I agree.
And Magnus, if he will win the chess boxing, who knows?
I
Now
don't know. I mean,
we need to give him new challenges because now that he won in Fischer Random,
exactly.
it was unofficial, and there are plans to create an official cycle because people really want to see a Fischer Random cycle and the world champion official one. But yeah, I think we need to give him more challenges.
I think so. I mean, he's world champion at Blitz. I think he's been world champion at Rugby, Classical, 960. He hasn't got many things left. I mean, hexagonal chess. Maybe he can challenge your dad for the title.
And the push-up challenge with Greg. I think he hasn't accepted yet the push-up challenge of Greg Shahadi.
Right.
Although Greg didn't challenge him, we just told him that he should.
He should do it.
Jesse announced it when he was here. You were in Gibraltar.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's not a challenge I'm going to get involved with, I'm afraid.
No, it's between Greg and Magnus.
Greg and Magnus.
We need to get
Who would you take? Greg or Magnus in the push-up
challenge?
Yeah.
Oh, Greg, don't listen. Magnus.
Magnus, okay.
No, but Greg is a CrossFit beast, so I don't even know if this is the way to measure it.
Now, that's one challenge I'd be feeling confident against Ben in. But, I did say I was feeling confident in the chess, but he fairly beat me. Push-up challenge next, Ben. Can we lower the bar even more? Can we do? Does anyone want to sponsor that? You know, what do you reckon? I reckon I might take him in a push-up. Maybe. I'm not even that confident about that. You know, I might like just collapse. But yeah, okay. Maybe we can get some interest in that. Okay. Well, what's happening going back to the game? It does look like things are now liquidating into a drawn position here. It's totally symmetrical pawn structure, and when you have bishops which work on opposite colours, then it's more likely to be a draw. One of the nicest statements I heard, Anna, well, I don't know about nicest, but it was a statement which I found quite amusing, was from, it was Spassky, Boris Spassky, who famously played Bobby Fischer for the World Championship match in '73. Did I get that right? Or
72.
72. And
in one of your favourite countries, Iceland.
Yeah, Iceland. In Iceland, love Iceland. And he was married, I think, quite shortly afterwards, and he got divorced, unfortunately. But then someone asked him about his marriage, and his comment was, "We were just bishops on opposite colour squares," which I thought was really nice. Which is kind of not a nice statement, but it's not that nasty. You know, he's comparing the breakup of his marriage.
Yeah.
That him and his wife.
Bishops.
Him and his wife were just opposite coloured bishops, which I thought, I kind of like that. That's quite nice.
Yeah, and it's nice it's a nice anecdote to tell on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. So the breakup of a marriage. Yeah, lovely. Marriage breakup.
And what are we doing here? It's
yeah.
How many hours? 12 hours of chess broadcast on Valentine's Day. So this is how chess players spend their Valentine's Day.
It is, yeah.
Playing the Pro Chess League. What else would you do?
What else? Exactly. That's it. So, and okay. Well, again, going back to the game, we see these opposite coloured bishops, and if Anand, wins this, I'll be amazed. Has he got now some chances? Because the pawn structure, as we see, is slightly changed now. Meaning it's not symmetrical. Is the b3 pawn now a slight target? I mean, can the knight now find somewhere to bite on? So is that possible? Yeah, I see someone in the chat, go Beady, saying, "Sweetie, I love you, but we're just opposite coloured bishops." I mean, that's quite a cool chess thing to say in a way. I don't know, it's like a little bit odd, but. Okay, so
opposite coloured bishops and not many pieces.
Look what's happened to the gnomes. The gnomes had a disastrous round. Disastrous round
5
there.
to 7.
They
scored half a point.
They scored half a point in the last round. That is an absolute shocker.
3.5 in round 3. That's horrible for the gnomes. What is going on with them?
The gnome. They were leading and they just lost a massive round. That is really bad news. Really bad news. Now they need to start. They need one of those miracle rounds again, don't they?
They need their top board back. It seems.
Yes, indeed. They need some magic. They need some. Oh dear. Okay. Well, we will have a look at the end of that match, obviously later on. But we're still the Mumbai Movers still need 1 point to get match victory. 8.5 is the winning score. So we're sticking with that match for now with the two biggest players. Can I take a bit of sugar?
Of course.
Thank you.
I'll take some too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need some energy.
I used to eat these years ago. The Dextro Energy.
It's really good.
Yeah,
we
just give you a nice little hit.
Yeah,
so,
it's exams, when you need some energy.
Yeah, drop some sugar. So,
I've been eating this the whole 5 days in Fisher Random. 5 hours of commentary at a break.
By the way, Anand has just offered a draw. Draw agreed. I know, well, Adrian would not have offered a draw against me, but he has respect for Anand. So a draw, meaning now the Mumbai Movers only half a point away from victory, and all credit to Anand, who had a great session today, where he got 3.5 out of 4. Right, that must be one of the biggest scores for board one, probably the biggest.
You know, a funny thing about this match is that if Vidit wins his last game, he will score more points than Rishi, and doesn't matter that he's a board 2. He has had the same opponents as Rishi.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good point.
He beat Andrakin.
Yeah. Oh, he beat. Oh yeah, of course he beat Andrakin. So Vidit will get 4 out of 4 if he manages to win this one.
Let's just see this game.
We got his game now. I mean, Vidit. I honestly, if I was creating this thing where you can win the 10,000, I would have put my money on Vidit. No, I mean, I just know this. I know how strong this is.
Division.
I just put Vidit in everything. Bracket Vidit here, Vidit there, Vidit. I have so much faith in this. I think he's such a good player. I mean, I think he's a really nice guy as well.
Yes, it's very nice.
You know, you sort of remember people if they're nice as well. I think for some reason, but
most chess players are nice.
They are.
We are lucky.
Yeah, we are.
It's a nice community.
It is a nice community. I agree. It is. We've got meet lots of lovely people out there, and you know, it's a wide range of personalities as well. So, which is good. Now going back to the game, after Bishop D5. Vidit, a draw means they win the match, but he can play for a win, trying to get his 4 out of 4. And I would say that Black is slightly better, but of course this should be a draw. I'm saying slightly better because the knight controls this white king coming in. I mean, maybe it's not better. I mean, maybe I'm just being a bit too optimistic there. But I'm hoping at some point to make a pawn break and get my king in. But this is probably just equal, is it? Any chance he'll win this one? Do you think, Anna? Equal material. I mean, he's gone F4, so he's going for the win.
He's trying.
I think he could have sat there and tried to just wait, but he's actually going for a win, and it's a risky way to play. Generally, when you have a bishop in an ending, this is a good little tip. If you have pawns on both sides of the board, as black and white both have here, black and white both have pawns on both sides of the board, a bishop is good because it can control both sides. When you have pawns just on one area of the board, the knight is better because the knight is a short range piece and only concentrate on that area. But if you look at the pawns here, these pawns, I don't like this G4 move, are all on light squares, meaning that, you know, the black pawns cannot be attacked by the bishop. They're all on dark squares. So white can never attack these pawns with his bishop. And if somehow the knight can get to F4, which I don't think it will, I think it is a draw. Because if you ever move the knight, the king comes in. I think they're repeating moves, and this is maybe team play by Vidit. He's just calling in the draw because he knew a draw.
And he wins the match with this draw.
Wins the match with a draw. So
well
nice play.
Played. So both Viswanathan and Vidit Gujrathi scored 3.5 out of 4 games for the movers and basically win the match. Two of them. Good strategy. We saw that they had these 2 very, very strong players, and they board 3 and 4, 2,280 rating.
Yeah, that's good.
So this was a strategy that worked very well against the Volga Stormbringers.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, they brought 7 points of that score through their games. So it's obviously very important. But the lower boards had to perform. I mean, they still had to get to 8.5. So even though they got 7 points out of the 8.5, you had to get the other 1.5 points from somewhere. Which they did do. Now, an update, because things are getting very tense here. We're going to the last little segment. As you can see, 3 teams have won today already. And let's have a look. You can see before the round today, the standings were as such. So the Mumbai Movers and the Delhi Dynamites really confirming their places at the top there, and as the 2 teams to watch out for, you know, in the league. And we also had the Estonian Horses with a massive win at the moment. And that is a very important win for the Estonian horses because it could propel them above the Riga Magicians and the Norway Gnomes into qualification place. But one game, very important, that's still going on is the Norway Gnomes against the Armenian Eagles. Now, the Armenian Eagles are in second place, but the Norway Gnomes, who have Magnus Carlsen playing for them regularly, plus a number of other superstars, are really in a bit of danger, Anna, I think.
They are in a bit of a danger. They were the finalists in last season's Pro Chess League, so we expect them to qualify for the playoffs and fight for the title, but they need to get into those playoffs. We are not inviting them just like this.
No, you need to do it by
yourself, yeah.
You do
prove it.
And I think we should find out what is happening in that game, and we can go here to let's just find the games in question. This is one of them, the Norway Gnomes, and very important. They need a big score now. The Armenian Eagles, big favourites to win. They only need 1.5 points. So let's have a look. How is Niels getting on? Niels with the white pieces here. He seems to be a pawn up. We're just going to flick. Niels in a good position to get a win in this game. It looks like he's a pawn up. The bottom board, 18.99, may be the danger because, I'm not being disrespectful, but he is the lowest rated player. But this is a pretty good, well, it looks like a good French defence. This, you know these kind of positions. You're a French expert, Anna. I guess.
It started out as a Caracan, but then it's basically transposed to a position that looks more like a French, of course. Yeah. With the bishop on c8.
Yeah. And with f6 is a normal kind of move here. This is the main kind of move you play. He has played f6, and at the moment it looks like black is in a very comfortable position there. So let's just check. Okay, I'm just gonna, and how Hammer is getting on, because Hammer is the only other board, and we are going to keep an eye on certainly these games. These are the key games to see who's going to go through. Hammer in, well, a fairly even opening at this moment in time here. I would say pretty equal position in normal opening stage. Do you think they're going to do it? Can the Norway Gnomes make a comeback, Emma? Can they come back into the show?
Well, as a fan of the Gnomes, and I have good friends on the team, I'm definitely rooting for them. But the Eagles are doing very well, so kudos to the Eagles. They were leaders of the Eastern Division for the first couple of rounds. Now, last week they lost to the Stormringers, but it's a very strong team, and as you have pointed out, Zavin Andresian is one of the highest, the top scorers of the division.
Yeah, and it's a tough game. I mean, the Armenian Eagles are a really tough team. I actually picked them at the start to do well in this league, and they seem to be doing that at the moment. And well, 5-7. Let's just keep an eye on these 3 games. I mean, the good news is this game anything could happen here. The good news is that Niels is pawn up, and it's a nice extra central pawn. So Niels Grandilius could be, the guy to bring through the win on that board. And I also quite like this on paper is the danger game, but I quite like Black's position here. Black seems to be, let's hope, let's go bishop d7 and hope for h3. H3. This is like the Korchnoi trick. How do I do that? The Korchnoi trick, when that is the Korchnoi trick, but a bit unlikely. Okay, do you want to have a bet on whether that will happen?
I'm afraid not. White has played c3.
c3. But this looks okay for black at the moment. I mean, we're French players, both of us, and there's a lot of potential here. These pawns, the only danger with this position is if these pawns can start moving, black is doing very well. But sometimes white can get a blockade on these 2 dart squares with his pieces, because you can't attack those squares with your pawns. On the other hand, I think
today is my laughter day.
Good. We all like to have a laugh today. I like you've got one of the best laughs out there. It's great. So come on, tell us what was it? And someone else rejected my friendship. I get all these things coming up saying, no, don't want to be Simon's friend. I don't want to be your friend either. It automatically offers friendships out to you. I'm not that friendly in real life. Trust me. I hate you all. No, I don't really, but only most of you. Only joking. Okay, sorry, what was the comment there? So,
The question in the
Yeah.
Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Who's that Viking on the left?
who's that Viking left? That is Anna.
Oh, that's you. That's really you on the left.
Who's that Viking on the left? That's not quite like being called a Viking. Nothing wrong with being a
No, I
Viking.
think
It's
that's
all right.
cool.
So,
Yeah.
It's cool. I'll take that.
Yeah, I like that. In Norway, I learned that when you cheer, you say skål,
Yeah.
and that basically means skull. So they used to
Use
drink
skulls.
from the skulls
Yeah.
of their
Right.
rivals
Wow.
after the battle.
Okay. Do you know why people do cheers? This is what I heard. Why people cheers in the old days, in medieval days? Why that is the thing to do? Because when you had banquets between warring families, okay, you'd normally both kings would cheer each other because some of your wine or beer would spill into the other person's glass. So if you were poisoned, it would be like, it would show that I'm not worried about being poisoned.
I see.
It's like, I will take some of your drink, so I'll cheers you, and you cheers it, and then some of the drink would mix in with yours, so you don't get poisoned, apparently.
Wow.
So anyway, that's our history lesson. Skull for skulls. I didn't know that. Is it really true that?
They used to
true?
drink from the skulls.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty Vikingish, isn't it? So, do you reckon the Gorky Stormbringers will be, the Mumbai Movers will be drinking their skulls tonight? No, maybe not. No. Okay. But Norway names. Knight BD4. So this game, it still looks early days. And what about this crazy game? I can't work this one out, Anna. I mean, what's happening here?
Oh.
This is a weird position, isn't it? Very weird position.
I would say this could go 3-way. Any result is possible. Romanov, this is the first time he plays this season, so he has been with the Norway Gnomes, but this year this is his debut. I believe he's also working with some of the Norwegian players as a trainer.
Right, okay, and I mean, his position though is very cramped, isn't it? I mean, I always like having more space when I play, and with a pawn on d5 and a pawn on g5, to me it looks like, I mean, black's pieces, the knight there, let's just look at the pieces. This knight is horrible because it can't get back in the game. The knight over here, I don't like that. It's knights on the rim are dim. It's something we say in England, meaning they're not very good. The bishop on g7 is good, but then the bishop here, I mean, it looks like black is very cramped, and white can maybe start to come forward. So I kind of like b5, trying to mix things up, get some complications, maybe getting the knight way back in the game. But at the moment, I think I prefer to be white here, just because of the extra space. So in this game, I would take white if I was playing. In the next game, with this kind of French defense structure, Queen f6 played, I think black is playing well at the moment, but the danger, as we mentioned, is if white gets a blockade on the dark squares. So there's a positional danger here for black. Niels Grandilis has got to win. He's got to win this game. I mean, they've got to get a win from somewhere, the Norway Gnomes, and
2 wins if they want to equal the score.
Two wins they've got to get. It looks like Niels will do the job here, the rook coming in. There's a little bit of work to do there, but he must be doing well. And how is the captain getting on? How's Hammer Time getting on here, Anna, do we think? Hammer Time.
Well, decided that he was very much needed to get back in the team, to save his team, and he has been doing well, but he was disappointed about one of his games.
Yeah, and I think he's streaming as well.
Yeah, it's not so easy to stream and play at the same time. We know that.
Yes, no, it's hard. Yeah, I know that. I know that definitely. Well, whenever I stream and play, rating goes. There's a horrible explosion in the rating. It just goes down and down and down. And well, Queen b3 played. I mean, I think black's better here. I'm going to be honest. The pawn on d5 looks a bit weak. Which bishop is better? The bishop on g7 pressurizes white's queen side, but a bishop on c1, I'm not really sure what this is doing. It's not a very good piece. It's not developed. I think black's certainly better. I mean, this is a game where, I don't know. I mean, black has a small advantage, minimum, maybe more, maybe a big advantage even, with some rooks coming in. But I don't know. I know it looks like the gnomes are in serious danger of being knocked out, I think, at the moment.
It looks like, unfortunately, it's not over yet. Let's just look at the standings for a quick moment. So this
Yeah.
is week 6, and there will be 3 more rounds.
Do you want me to go to?
Or if we can just look at the
Sure,
standing,
sure.
this is without today's round
Yeah.
results. But if the Gnomes lose, that means that they will just stay on the 2.5 score that you see there. They get game points, but that's for the tiebreak. So 2.5. The Magicians. Well, the good thing is that the Magicians also lost.
Yeah.
And the other team that was tied with the Gnomes, Estonia, they will just leapfrog the Gnomes. They have just beaten the Oslo Trolls with a massive score. It's already 10 points for the horses. So
yeah.
For the moment, if the Gnomes lose, they will not be among the teams that should qualify. 3 more rounds to go after today.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm knocking things all over the shop here. And we should let people know that we will, of course, update the scores here as soon as the games are over today. So we will get the updated scores with you for the end of the round. So we'll let you know who's in a great position to qualify and who's not. So just got to, one of these little weird screens, but it will come back on. So we'll update them soon.
Yeah, we have a very efficient team working behind the scenes. So you see the 2 of us in front of the camera, but there's an army of Chess.com employees and the commissioner himself, Greg Shahari, working very hard.
The commissioner.
I
like that, the commissioner.
That's his title, but I just like to call him the founder and the creator of the Process League because this has been his idea. So amazing job.
Okay, 2 questions as well. Someone's asking, will we have karaoke later? Doubtful. And someone also is asking, where's Charlie? And there's a famous chess cat called Charlie the Chess Cat, which lives with me basically. And Charlie the Chess Cat. I'll show you. Okay, it's on my phone. I have a picture. Well, kind of. I got that through the post today.
Whoa.
So from Charlie, do you think I could show that?
Yeah, I think you should show it.
Okay, there we go. So this was. This was a card I got from Charlie. Happy Valentine's Day from the cat. Lots of love from Charlie. So at least someone loves me,
Oh, that's amazing.
That was nice. He's very clever, that cat. He went down the post office, posted it. Very, very good. Okay, and actually, so let's have a look now because this position has now drastically changed the game between Hammer and his opponent because. Well, all of a sudden, it looked like Hammer was in some trouble, but things have got much better for him. He's swapped off his pawn. He's now got a passed pawn, which is more dangerous than Black's passed pawn. Both sides have a passed pawn. I think the A pawn is much more dangerous. It's on the wing, so it's harder to get to. And it can be supported by this great bishop on E3 if it gets to A7. And White seems nicely centralized. The bishop on G7. It didn't really maximize its potential there. So I think really this I'm not showing the board.
Oh
dear.
Oh, it's okay. It's after 3 hours of commentary. I think it's normal.
I'm not showing the board. More energy needed. Can we go back to the fish tank soon? Oh no. I'm sorry about that. So okay. Anyway, we're back.
I didn't realize it either. It's just happens.
Hopefully you all heard what I was saying there, and you can now put it into practice on the position. You know what I was doing? I was testing your visualization skills. It was a little test that grandmasters occasionally do, just to see if you want to be a better chess player, you have to visualize the board without seeing it. How many of you out there visualize what I was seeing? Are you a grandmaster in making, or are you not? Am I hustling my way through this? Possibly. Yeah. So, well, okay, I was saying really that I like White's position. The A pawn, as I will demonstrate now with the board, I think is stronger than the D pawn. It's on the side. The D pawn's not going anywhere. White swapped off the bishops. Probably a draw, but there's no danger for Hammer anymore. So this is looking okay for Hammer. So things are looking a little bit up for the Norway Gnomes.
And our commissioner is in the Twitch chat now, Greg Shahari, to monitor everyone and to moderate the chat. So he's doing everything at the same time, just looking at the scores, making sure that it runs smoothly. Every player has a camera on, so they are being monitored while they are playing. And there's so many things to do just to make sure that these games are being held at the correct time in the right way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just all anti-cheating
Yeah.
like things are going on in the background. I mean, I don't get the American Chess Monthly magazine. I don't know what it's called even. US Chess magazine. But I know Danny Wrench. I kind of made up a title of a magazine there. Danny Wrench, one of the main guys behind Chess.com, the main man. We all know Danny. He did an article on what Chess.com do with their anti-cheating measures, and let me just tell you, it's phenomenal. I mean, I've come across cheats on Chess.com, but you can't stop that. I mean, if someone wants to cheat, how can you stop someone cheating? It's like a tournament. You can't stop someone cheating. It will happen, but on Chess.com, I've got great things set in place that if you do cheat, they will be caught out.
Yeah, they
straight
have
away.
such an advanced technology to monitor
They have,
the games. Plus, they have a camera, so it's of course a bulletproof system in Pro Chess League.
Yeah, certainly. Okay, well, so don't cheat basically on Chess.com. That's our rule.
You will be kicked out if you do so.
Yes, that's
you can
it.
try.
Chess Life magazine, maybe. Okay, I don't know. It's one of the American ones. It's the big American one, so we're getting an update on that. Okay, so we're updating the boards now. That all games are still going on. Hammer is okay.
And he has just realized live on air that his team depends on him now.
Okay. Ooh, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure for Hammer. Hammer, yeah, you got to. Oh, okay. So, well, we'll see. Well, Bishop D4 being played, and he's got a big time advantage as well. And he's now threatening to go Queen D4 and take here. So if Black plays something, okay, well, he's just gone backwards. Hammer is okay. Let's have a look at the other boards. Now, Niels was doing very well. Is he still doing well? Yes, he is. He's a passed pawn up with pressure against this big pawn on B6. And also the Black King is a little bit weak. Niels will win this one, so that's 1.5 points at the moment. Now, how about this French position? Equal, okay, White is a pawn up. So, well, if White's a pawn up, if White wins this game, that could be enough to win it for them. But
yeah, if the others are draw.
If the others are draw. Black does have 2 bishops, but it is a pawn. It is a pawn for White. Still chances here, but this is a key game. Now, really, we need, if the gnomes have got any chances, we need to see them doing well on this game here, which looked better for White, but things have changed. Black is a pawn up, and his pieces are set for this sad little thing over here, which is really just going to go home crying soon. It's not happy, but the other pieces are looking really okay. So this game is complex, but I think Black can be feeling confident here. He's got the extra pawn. He's managed to fight back. This is looking like a very close last round here. Last round of this.
It is very close. It's going to depend on maybe a half a point in favor of one team or the other. Well, in this case, it's either that the gnomes can save the match or the Eagles beat Magnus Carlsen's team.
Yeah, really tense game at the moment. I mean, I think the key game, it looks like, well, Hammer, if Hammer can get a win out of this one, that'll be the captain leading the way. So this is the 2 games I think I'm most concerned about from a gnome's point of view is the Hammer game. And then I think Grandilius is just going to win. He's clearly he's just completely winning now, yeah. And that rook is going to come down there.
And then the queen to the back rank to Queen H8, wasn't that after taking and Queen D5?
After something like takes.
Yes, takes Queen D5 check and
then
Queen H8.
Yeah.
Yeah, or rook D8. Black has to play to avoid this after the check. But this is winning.
Yeah, when White is going to pick up or checkmate the weak Black King. So I think the real danger, it seems to be that Hammer might draw, and this game White is a pawn up, and it is the lowest rated player in the Norway Gnomes has the black pieces here. So can he hold this one? A draw in this game for Black will be a key draw, certainly, if he can get a draw.
Oh, I see. For the first time in my life, I see the emote I've created used on air, and I've never seen that being used because I haven't had a stream since. That one with the hat is me.
Oh, nice.
And look at my muscles.
Oh, wow.
I love that. Thank you so much.
That's cool. That's really cool.
In the time of Nick. Thank you so much.
I like it. in the time, and Nick has got Anna up there. So there we go, Anna and Muscles. So I like it.
Thank you.
That's a cool emote because when
Yeah, my subscribers
Yeah.
get that emo, and you have the clown one, don't you?
I have a couple when I have a duck, because
Yeah.
something I say quite regularly is to do with a duck.
Oh, this
when I
fire
do
also
it.
has it. Oh,
No one's
thank you guys.
no one's putting my emotes up there.
What
Shall I
about
just start
Simon's
crying?
emote? Who's got Simon's emote?
I don't have any. I don't have any people on here who've got my emotes. But
Yes, Sir Gam, I was in Norway this morning.
oh really?
So
You were?
he's
Oh, you
asking
were?
me if
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was in Norway yesterday. No, this morning
Yeah.
I was in Norway.
Yes, you were indeed, and
Oh,
yeah, it's good. But this is one of the good things you can get if you do subscribe to Anna's channel.
And to Simon's channel to get his emotes.
Then you can get these emotes, which are sort of us in characters and stuff, which is pretty cool. So it's well worth doing, and it does help us stream more as well. We're trying to do more stuff ourselves if you can support us. And in this game, well, I don't know how bad it is for Black here. Is it really bad for Black in this game?
Oh, look at that. That's you now in the
there
muscles.
we go.
You see?
That's my clown face on Halloween Day. That was a horribly weird stream, but it was quite fun. And there's the clown. Thank you. You've come from Snowball Joel and K Chess C6. Thanks. You can see the crazy clown
and the duck.
And the duck. There we go.
Awesome.
So we do have some people who have subscribed to our channels in the chat, which is all nice to do. Another thing, you can subscribe to the channel you're on now.
Chess.com, and your name will appear up there.
It will do.
And
now,
you get new emotes.
New emotes, get loads of things. So do subscribe. You can subscribe by pressing some button above, probably called subscribe, or below, and you can then become a regular supporter of these things. Nakamura Army has got put that in your pipe and smoke it. I love it. They're all coming out. Good stuff. And it's quite funny, yeah. The difference between your face and my face. I've got a scary clown, and you've got a very elegant Anna with a lovely hat on. Like a royalistic kind of lovely. Oh, Yaborn. Hello, Yaborn. Yaborn came to the Ginger Gem party. He was a star there.
Nice.
He was a star. And he's got a couple of emotes there.
What's going on in this match? How are the Gnomes doing, and are the Eagles winning?
Well, at the moment, the time situation here, I mean, let's just see. The Black only has a minute. I'm just going to refresh the page, hopefully without losing all the games. And it's certainly better for White because White has the extra pawn. And this, I think, could be a key game because, let's just recap. 8.5 is the winning score. And if the Armenian Eagles in the last 4 games get 1.5 out of 4, they go through, they qualify. And if they get a point here, they only have to get half a point somewhere else. Now, Black is not, maybe still okay. Black is holding the own. Maybe Black should play something like, try to get this D pawn going to get the bishops in the game. Maybe try to arrange C5 and D4. Very tense game. Update on the other ones. This one is moving a lot, but we're worried about the Gnomes' position earlier, but it had got a lot better. The Gnomes were a pawn up.
Simon, what's the button about follow Anna? Is that...
Which one's that, sorry?
I don't know why we are covered by a follow Anna button. Do you see there on the stream?
Oh, follow Anna Rudolph. Oh yeah, I don't know how that occurs.
But I hope it's only you that sees it because it's covering our faces.
I think that's probably a good thing, isn't it? Oh look, it's follow Anna Rudolph. Oh, I don't know. You've got... that's quite cool.
Well, where's follow Simon and follow Chess.com? This is not an promo channel.
No, it's
we
all
are
good.
here to promote the Pro Chess League.
I wonder how we got that up, but yeah, well you should follow anyway because you'll know when all your streams are going on. So,
same for Simon, same for Chess.com. So follow all the channels.
Follow all the channels.
Now what's going on? Let's count the pawns.
Yeah, well, in this one, Black is now 2 pawns up. So I think the Gnomes have got a point here. So we can notch up a point for the Gnomes on this board. Well, I think board 2 game.
This has been close.
Now, how is Hammer getting on? Now, Hammer looked to be a little bit better, but I can only see a draw here. This is really close last. This is a really close last game. This one. I think basically both pawns are going to be exchanged. Let's say something like Rook here, A6. Rook here, Rook C4, and we're going to have some ending like this where they're going to shake hands and agree a draw. So I'm going for a draw, Hammer's game. a win for the gnomes here. 1.5 points for the gnomes. Niels, where's Niels? Is Niels finished? Niels is winning. So it's all to do with a young bottom board. And Niels has got to be winning this one. Look at what is the black king doing, Anna? It's going mental. It's going from crazy king.
Is this going to be good or bad?
Is this going to be good or bad? Well, good for white, probably bad for black, I assume. So I don't know. It looks a bit tough at the moment. Looks a bit tough. I mean, white must be winning here. White must be winning.
It's a pawn up plus the black king, as you are mentioning.
Yeah.
Start to walk about in the middle of the board.
Yeah. So let me just get rid of some odd things. So Niels is going to win. I think Hammer's going to be a draw, and it's all down now to this is going to be a win. It's all down to this board. So okay, what have you seen, Anna?
Oh. I'll save you. I'll save you. I'll save you from it.
On the Ben Elo range, 1800. Yeah, I've had it before. So.
Oh, don't worry. Some of my haters call me underrated or like beginner, so that's lower than 1,800.
Thanks, Hannah.
I mean, Ben doesn't hate you that much.
No, I don't hate Ben. He's fine. It's all a bit.
You guys are gonna be best friends. I can see that coming. It's Valentine's Day, so it's a good day to start.
Oh, it's a blunder. It's a blunder. Queen E3 is a massive blunder. He had 5 seconds there. Can't you just take here? Can't you just take here?
He wants to give check and
then check here. I think he realizes that it's not mate.
But it's white who gives mate first.
Yeah, this is a massive blunder. Massive blunder. Oh no, hang a minute. Did we have this occur? We had this occur in the game, and
he won on time.
And he won on time because, of course.
White won. Okay, by the way, the position is winning already. So
it is. Yeah.
That means
massive blunder. But I mean, this was tough. Black was in trouble, and the game finished with Black trying to go for a counter-attack with little time left. That means that the Gnomes have to win every single game now.
Every single game.
To win the match. But they could still draw.
Tie, yeah. They
could still to tie.
Yeah, they can't even win anymore.
They can't win. They can only tie. And the problem, it seems, is that Hammer has to win this position. The other 2 games might be winning. It's down to the captain. Let's update the position. Okay, well, actually, Hammer has created some chances. How on earth did the Hammer do this? Hammer, is he going to be the hero? Hammer time.
He knows he has to be the hero.
Can Hammer be the hero of the team? He needs to win this game. Black only has 6 seconds left. Have any chance of the match being a draw, and that's all that the Norway Gnomes can hope for. They need to win every game on the last 3 boards. So
to tie the score.
Score. It looks unlikely, but I mean, let's have a look at the games.
Well, Niels is winning.
Niels is winning. That's 1 point. And here, Black is clearly winning here because Black is 2 pawns up.
Yeah.
Some drawing chances, but it won't happen. So it's really down to Hammer. Hammer has now got a pawn up. He's gone a pawn up.
Wow.
Hammer time. Can he lead from the front? Black is quite active though. This rook now going to cause a lot of trouble. Maybe Black's got enough activity here, Anna. I'm not sure. I think Black is probably still holding this one. Okay, he's going to come in with King B6. Great idea from Hammer. And his opponent resigned.
Whoa.
Oh, well, it's actually... Oh, it's not... I was only looking at King B6.
It's mate.
It's fine, man.
It's mate.
Yeah, I only just realised that.
I know. I didn't look at it. I was looking at your arrow. King B6.
King B6.
Promote the pawn.
I know. No, it's actually mate in 1. Hammer leads from the front.
Whoa.
Well done, Hammer. Hammer time. He's back, and what a way to win. So now it's 6-8, 2 games remaining. Hammer, what a turnabout that was. That was unbelievable. Unbelievable turnabout. So now has Niels. Can Niels do this? Niels is chasing that king around, but he hasn't put the ball into the back of the net yet. He's threatening rook e4 here. It must be winning for Niels. It must be. He's a pawn up, and look at that stupid king. That king, what is he doing? He's going maniac style. He's going maniac style. Well,
look at the emotes of the
hammer.
No, Sam is here with us in chat.
Yeah.
He's a subscriber to the notes. I am also a subscriber thanks to Chessbay.
I'm not sure if I am, but I need to subscribe to Hammer
I
Time
got
now.
it as a present from Chessbay. She's really cool.
She is really cool. She does help subscribe to
to
lots of the channels. And well, Niels it should be doing well here, but let's quickly. He's okay. The other one. Well, clearly here, Black is winning. 3 pawns against the lone knight, and this pawn. That's an easy win. So this could be a draw match. This could be Anna.
Wow.
Do we think
Drama.
so? Drama indeed. But is Niels going to win this one? It's a draw. No, it's a draw by threefold.
Niels.
Oh no.
Niels. He didn't want to repeat 3 times. He just went into it.
He fell into it. Oh no. That's a match loser, that one. That is a match loser. He was, of course, completely winning, but he just fell into a threefold, and that's given the Armenians the win. The Armenians needed half a point to get to the winning score.
Congratulations to the Armenian Eagles.
Congratulations.
Well, this has been a heartbreak for the Norwegian fans. Kudos to the Armenian fans. What a dramatic match where both games in the end were winning for the nose, but Niels just fell into a 3-point repetition. Sometimes you want to repeat 2 times and gain some time on the clock, but there's then the moment when you need to switch.
Yeah, exactly.
And he knows it, of course. It just in blitz, it's sometimes not easy to know how many times they have played it.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to gain some time. He didn't actually think it was ever going to be a draw with this position because, of course, it should be, it should be like just very, very good with the Black King stuck over here with White being a pawn up. And I think that is just, that is just a real. Niels will be kicking himself. I bet Hammer is hammering his head on the wall at the moment in absolute pain. And look, the final score, because, well, we see that Black did win this game by resignations. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Niels. I feel so sad for Niels because, of course,
he's such a nice guy, and now he had the chance to.
Yeah, I know. And you can't.
Oh my!
I mean, he didn't. He played a great game. He outplayed his opponent there. He played brilliant chess, and he just fell into a draw. And that draw was so important. Unfortunately, it gave the other team the match. And we will, in a second, bring you the updated standings so far. Now, while I go and get them, Anna. We need a bit of fish tank after that, don't we?
We need a bit of fish tank. This has been such a dramatic end.
We need a bit of fish tank. And Anna, I'll go and get the scores quickly while you can chill with the fishes.
I'm gonna be chilling. I need to, after all what happened in the last 10 minutes, I need to.
Yeah, definitely. So
you know that in Norway, the players were wearing heart rate monitors, but also I got one to see my heart rate during the commentary.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
How was your heart rate?
It was really, really high, especially when Magnus lost on time.
Right.
So that was for me too a very, very heartbreaking moment in a way that nobody expected it.
Yep.
So of course I'm rooting for both players because I get on well with both players. But in that moment, everybody expected Magnus to stop the clock, so nobody would have imagined that he just loses on time. And
yeah, I mean, it was okay. I mean, that's such a dramatic round today as well. I'm just sort of trying to.
So if we had a heart rate monitor, it would have also jumped.
Yeah. Let's just chill with the fishes a little bit. Get some zen back into our lives after a very exciting round, and we're going to bring you the results now.
Which are already updated.
We have updated.
You can see it on ProChessLeague.com. Standings, very efficient teamwork behind the scenes.
Yeah. And these were results before today's round. So
let's compare.
So that's this. Okay, the Indian team's doing very well, but what have been the major changes? So we can see here the major changes. I'm just going to bear with me while I get rid of this and put the new one on. Sorry about the editing. Is that right?
Whoa!
There we go.
We're still leaders with 5 wins. And the Eagles, with the victory, Niels repeating 3 times, they jump up to the 2nd position, tied with the Dynamite.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose today the people who benefited the most really are the Estonian horses, because the Estonian horses before were equal with the Gnomes and the Riga Magicians, but now they've grabbed themselves, at the moment, currently, a place in the qualifications in the green zone. On the other hand, the Norway Gnomes and the Riga Magicians have both struggled today, lost their matches, putting themselves out of automatic promotion, and meaning they need a very strong finish. Volga Stormbringers, Oslo Trolls. Stormbringers still got an outside chance. The Trolls are out of it. They're out of it. But in the end, very exciting day.
Very exciting, and we see that the Indian teams are very strong in our division. They have basically lined up all the top Indian players. It's normal. Viswanathan has played once again for the movers. Vidit also in the team of the movers. Harikrishna made a debut for the Dynamites. Very strong Indian teams, and they don't even have all the grandmasters lined up for today because they need to cover the rating average of 2500, so they needed lower rated players for the bottom board.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, the Mumbai Movers though, what a team they are. I mean, now they've got Anand as a big shooter. Yeah. They've got Vidit. The Armenian Eagles don't have any big names, but they've got very good, solid. Yeah,
they are a very solid team and very strong on all boards. So they don't have a weak spot. It's not like when in the team of the Gnomes, for instance, Alam is a young, talented boy, but it seems that his opponents are always 200, 300, 400 rating points above him, which is difficult.
Yeah, of course, it's really tough. And I think now the Gnomes, I mean, like they did very well when Magnus was playing, and I think the Magnus effect is, in order to try to go through, they're going to probably have to try to get Magnus back in their team. I'd recommend, because you can kind of rely on him leading from the front. With a big score. I mean, I'd love to see him play against Anand in this league. I mean, that'd be fantastic.
They should qualify for the playoffs because they already played against the movers when both were in Vaikanze. So we didn't see Carlsen, Anand clash in the Pro Chess League first stage. But in case they qualify, then it could happen, of course. So I haven't seen the trees, how the lines will go, because then it's a knockout system. But the Gnomes should first qualify and then have a chance to actually play against the movers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what a day it's been. I mean, you can see some changes. I think the most upset are going to be the Norway Gnomes, because I think Niels, who played fantastically, you can't blame one person in the team. You've got to just feel sorry for them, to support them. Niels, who played fantastically, just fell into a very dramatic repetition of moves at the end. So upsetting for him. The Norway Gnomes, great fighters, because they always fight back. This is the thing, they've got that spirit, and that's why I want them to go through, because of the spirit.
They are Vikings, just like you.
Well, Skull. Talking about Vikings, we're going to finish our commentary quite soon, and don't worry, because we're going to bring on the next league. And the next league, let's go to the world map, is going to show the Central Division. So we're going to have teams from centre of Europe, including Iceland. The Puffins. Okay, we both love the Puffins. Let's do it. You ready? Who do we like? We can't be too biased, but we can. Let's do it. After 3, ready? 3, 2, 1.
The Puffins.
Come on, Puffins. And I have to also say, London Towers, I love to see them do well.
I love the French teams too.
And the French, I love all the
French teams. There are just so many nice teams in the Central Division, and now we're gonna forget about someone, Amsterdam, who had the top score in the division and in the Pro Chess League, 14-2. It was not repeated this time. Estonia, in the end, is 10-4 against Oslo. Many nice teams, and the Central Division will be covered shortly.
Okay, exactly. And well, in a second we will stop our stream, maybe not 1 second, maybe 30 seconds, but you will be straight into the action with the Central Division, which will be brought to you, I think, by lovely Lawrence and lovely Jennifer, I think. So
I believe so.
And that's going to be great.
But I've never heard lovely and Lawrence in the same sentence. With all respect to Lawrence, I like Lawrence. We get on very well, but I have never heard those two words in the same sentence.
I love it. The likable, the charming. He's a charmer.
The charming chap.
The charming chap. We'll go for that. And
the lovely lady.
And the lovely lady, of course. But they will bring you all the action there. It's been an absolute blast. It's been such an honour to have Anna come over
Such an honor
to
to
join
be
me
here in the Ginger GM studio. It's
Thank you.
amazing. It's all green.
It's all green.
Wall.
And I'll try to make the green screen better for when we do this again. But it's been lovely. And of course, last thank you goes to everyone in the Twitch chat and on Chess.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do remember to subscribe to the Chess channel and to our personal Twitch channels, Ginger GM and Anna Chess, if you want more of us. If you don't want more of us, you should have turned off a long time ago. What are you doing here? What are you actually doing here? I don't know. So there you go. You shouldn't be here. But goodbye from me and goodbye from the lovely
Anna, aka Ginger Duo.
the Ginger Duo.
The Ginger Duo ready for the Central Division. Lawrence and Jennifer will be streaming right now. Don't go anywhere. And then Atlantic Division, Pacific Division every day on Wednesdays. And it's Valentine's Day, but this is a chess Valentine's Day here on Pro Chess League.
Yes.
See you next Wednesday.
Goodbye.